Chapter 699. The Rain Palace was originally a palace for people to cultivate, but it gradually became a place to imprison people. The entire Rain Palace was about 100 meters high, and it was also a few hundred meters long and wide. The palace was empty, and there was nothing else in it. Luo Feng sat crossed-legged within the palace. "Your Majesty, I'll be outside." Dylan's undying energy passed through the palace and communicated, "This matter, that Luo Zhu Emperor went overboard. He's purely looking for trouble. Their own internal problems still came to find trouble with you. Your Majesty, don't worry. This matter will be resolved quickly." "No problem." Luo Feng sat crossed-legged and smiled. "It's just a small setback, it's nothing." Suddenly Luo Feng looked down at the screen on his arm. He received a call. "HM? Teacher?" Luo Feng's consciousness connected to the virtual universe. Virtual universe, Yuxiang Mountain Primal Region, Luo Feng's villa. The golden-armored ape-man, Tru Yin, sat within the hall. Luo Feng appeared with his so and flew into the first-level hall, bowing respectfully. "Your disciple greets teacher." "Sit." Tru Yin smiled as he glanced at Luo Feng. Luo Feng sat down. "I already know about your matter. I just checked the records from the Wulong Starfield." Tru Yin looked at Luo Feng. "What you and the Universe Knights said, is it true? That Kazel really tried to assassinate you? And there were indeed fire undyings who came to assassinate you?" "Yes," Luo Feng said respectfully. "As for what I said to the Universe Knight, it's mostly true. I didn't want to speak about the small matters." It was indeed mostly true. Luo Feng's fabricated words, defending against Kazel, wasn't because of the 10 sector lords, but because of his own soul pagoda defense. Killing the fire undyings also wasn't because of the fire god crystals, but the golden horned beast. Anyway, it was mostly true. If it involved important secrets, he had to cover up his lies. "HM." Tru Yin nodded and didn't pursue. As an ancient being that had existed for trillions of years, he was very clear that the absolute geniuses that could stand at the pinnacle of the vast universe all had their own special encounters. He was also clear that this disciple of his definitely had some special encounters. The Demon Node inheritance was one of them. Before he received it, he had guessed that Luo Feng had other encounters. However, everyone had secrets. It was impossible for Tru Yin to understand everything about his disciple. He only needed to confirm that this was his disciple, and that his disciple's actions did not cross the bottom line of his teacher. As such, he wouldn't care about anything else. "Since you've confirmed that this was an assassination attempt on you, then there's no problem with this." Tru Yin's smile had a sense of pride within. "No matter what, you're still a genius of my virtual universe company. No matter how tyrannical that nightmare candle is, he doesn't have the right to decide the fate of a member of my virtual universe company." Luo Feng let out a sigh of relief. "Tell me in detail the conversation between you and Nailin Zhu," Tru Yin said. "Yes, teacher." Luo Feng immediately recounted the entire conversation from before. When Tru Yin heard this, he laughed. "Ha! You sure know how to pull a big flag. Pulling the flag of the Nine-Blade Knight is fine. After all, when you become an undying, you will be under him. You actually dared to raise the banner of Tian Shi Palace Master." "Ha ha!" Hearing the name of Tian Shi Palace Master, that Nailin Zhu must have panicked. "Tian Shi Palace Leader, is that powerful?" Luo Feng asked softly. "Even stronger than the Nine-Blade Knight. The Tian Shi Palace Leader has been in Tian Shi Palace for 1,000,000,000 years, terrorizing Blood River World." Tru Yan's eyes, too, had a sense of respect. "That's much stronger than the universe country leaders and knights. He's the true upper echelon of the virtual universe company. Back then, for him to guide you, it was indeed your luck." Luo Feng was shocked within. Even his teacher said that the position of the leader was indeed incredible. "Right, teacher, why did that nightmare Candle Emperor target me?" Luo Feng asked curiously. "I've never seen him before." "The main reason is because of me." Tru Yan's eyes had a sense of disdain within. He laughed. "That nightmare candle, in terms of comprehension, talent, he's only average. If he didn't have anyone to guide him and let him train by himself, it would be extremely difficult for him to become a sector lord. However, he has a very powerful father, the true absolute genius of the Battle Axe Colosseum, and also the current Battle Axe Colosseum's Yanhua Knight. Yanhua Knight? Luo Feng was stunned. True Yin exclaimed, that's a true absolute genius, no weaker than the Kadi I spoke of. A sector lord pinnacle can kill an official level undying. Once he breaks through, he's an emperor level undying, and after a few tens of thousands of years, he'll become a universe knight. Luo Feng sighed within. Yanhua Knight only has this one son. It can be said he spent an endless amount of resources and effort. True Yin exclaimed, making his only son Nightmare Candle stay at sector lord level, making him not rush to break through to undying, allowing him to stay at sector lord level for over 9 million years. Luo Feng was shocked. Before, Longju Emperor said that Nightmare Candle Emperor was a genius, being an official level pinnacle undying the moment he stepped into undying. However, now that he heard, he actually stayed at sector lord level for over 9 million years. A human sector lord's lifespan was only 1,000 eras. An extremely terrifying treasure, a treasure that even universe paragons would covet. Yet, that paragon Shurhul would rather not use it for himself and gave it to his son, said True Yin. What? Luo Feng was shocked. Have you seen the mysterious engravings on Nightmare Candle Emperor's forehead? That's the appearance of the treasure after it was refined by him. True Yin exclaimed. Luo Feng immediately thought back to when he first met Nightmare Candle Emperor, seeing the engravings on his forehead. Those engravings indeed gave off an ancient and eternal energy. Endless resources and treasures, even universe knights coveted them, were all used on his only son who was only a sector lord back then. True Yin exclaimed. Just Nightmare Candle Emperor's body was forcefully raised to a perfect state by his father. Hence he was so beautiful, training hard at sector lord level for 9 million years, along with countless treasures. How could he not be strong? Becoming an undying means reaching the official level pinnacle. That's very normal. True Yin shook his head. Even a normal undying, with that treasure, can reach the official level pinnacle. Luo Feng was shocked. That way, that Nightmare Candle Emperor wasn't a genius at all. He simply has an absolute genius, an incredibly powerful father. True Yin sneered. As for himself, he's completely spoiled by his father, a petty bastard. He's always been jealous of true geniuses. Hence, when I rose up back then, he fought with me. However, he was ruthlessly trampled on by me. I don't care about anything else. Luo Feng laughed. Fighting with me, he keeps losing, and I can't just not retaliate when I'm bullied. Every time we fight, he loses, hence we're considered mortal enemies. True Yin shook his head. With this person's petty heart, it's not strange for him to find trouble with you. Firstly, you're a genius too. Secondly, he indeed hates me to the bone, yet he can't do anything about me. Hence, he'll naturally take it out on my disciple. Actually, I've already given him face. The few times he embarrassed himself, I didn't publicize at all, mainly because I didn't want to offend his father. His father is a truly ambitious and ruthless person. After 1 trillion years, his strength is still unfathomable. His position in the Battle Axe Colosseum is extremely high too. Luo Feng nodded. To become an emperor level undying in less than 10,000 years, becoming a universe knight in a few 100,000 years, after 1 trillion years, his strength would definitely be even more shocking. No wonder he's so arrogant and tyrannical. No wonder Long K Emperor, Detua Emperor, and the other 4 with similar backgrounds always give in to that Nightmare Candle Emperor. Luo Feng thought. It's purely because of his absolute powerful father that he raised him to the level of an emperor level undying. That father of his really paid a huge price. He doesn't use the treasures himself, giving them all to his son. You'll have to endure this for now. True Yin smiled. No matter how strong that Shurhul Knight is, he's still from the Battle Axe Colosseum. If his Battle Axe Colosseum's people dare to openly bully our virtual universe company's people, our virtual universe company definitely won't lower our heads. Luo Feng nodded. This involved a secret battle between the two powers. No matter how unwilling Nightmare Candle Emperor is, he'll have to let you go in the end. True Yin said, however, you'll have to wait for the upper echelon to speak. Luo Feng understood too. Behind Nightmare Candle Emperor was Shihua Knight. His teacher, True Yin, was an existence that was closest to the universe supremacy level. Compared to supremacy Shihua, who had cultivated for billions of years, there was still a huge difference in status. For this matter, just his teacher's face was probably not enough. After all, Nightmare Candle Emperor hated True Yin to the bone. He wouldn't give him any face. Wulong Starfield, inside a lofty and luxurious palace. True Yan's disciple actually dares to make a ruckus in front of me. The handsome Nightmare Candle Emperor's expression was twisted, his eyes filled with hatred. Thinking back to back when he clashed with True Yin time and time again, True Yin was truly arrogant. He wasn't afraid of anything. He wasn't afraid even if he pierced through the heavens. Even Shihua Knight's only son, he still trampled on him. Nightmare Candle Emperor was pitiful back then. He was trampled very badly. If True Yin didn't care about Shihua Knight, he would have killed him back then. True Yin, I didn't expect this disciple of yours to be as arrogant as you. With such an arrogant teacher, he'll have such an arrogant disciple. No problem. Your disciple is on my watch. Even if he escapes this time, there'll be plenty of chances to deal with him in the future. Nightmare Candle Emperor's eyes gleamed coldly. After living for so many years, other than his father who had punished him, there was no one else who had humiliated him as deeply as True Yin did. Back then, when Nightmare Candle Emperor was trampled on until he went mad, he roared hysterically, shouting to his father, "Kill True Yin, kill him. If he doesn't die, I'll die. There's no me, there's no me." However, his father, Shihua Knight's reply was, after throwing his son into the prison of the 9th Star Zone, King Luo Zhu immediately became a lot more obedient after he came back. Although he was still narrow-minded and cruel, he was not as lawless as he used to be. Chapter 700. The day Luo Feng was locked up within a completely black palace emitting a terrifying energy in the virtual universe's Thunder Island. Below the palace, Long K Emperor knelt respectfully, his head buried in the ground. Shihua's son has always been finding trouble with True Yin. A deep and oppressive voice resounded within the endless palace. At the same time, chi-chi sounds could be heard. However, finding Luo Feng is a bit stupid. Luo Feng is, after all, one of the 10 confirmed elite seeds in this batch of geniuses. Try to pin a crime on Luo Feng without any evidence. That would be a joke. Above the palace sat an ugly creature covered in black scales and a pair of black horns. This tall and sturdy scale creature was sitting on a throne. His right claw was incomparably sharp, and he was casually scratching the armrest of the throne time and time again, making ear-piercing noises. His entire body emitted a formless pressure. It made one's heart palpitate. It made one terrified. His fingers casually swiping at the armrest. The black-scaled life form ordered, send the order, release Luo Feng. Yes. Long K Emperor knelt, still refusing to raise his head. So, Long K immediately vanished from the virtual universe. Wulong Starfield. Luo Zhu Emperor's majestic palace welcomed a guest. Long K Emperor. Tian Wu, what are you doing here? The handsome man, Flame Monarch, was lying on a chair on the edge of the hall on the 9th floor of the palace. Beside him were 2 beautiful girls of the Phantom Spirit clan, who were massaging his shoulders and legs. Sitting on the chair, he could see the endless starry sky outside, and even the endless goods that filled the starry sky. Luo Zhu Emperor. Long K Emperor walked over, saying solemnly, "Orders from above. Release Luo Feng." Above? Which above? Luo Zhu Emperor raised his head, glancing at him. "My direct subordinate, Demon Knight," Long K Emperor said. Luo Zhu Emperor's eyes twitched as he heard this. The universe was vast. Every universe country leader and knight's birth was incomparably difficult. Over countless years, universe country leaders and knights were only so few, and even amongst them, there were still differences in power. If the leader of Tianshi Palace was a legend, hiding within Tianshi Palace, not making a move for trillions of years, just the name alone was enough to frighten people. That serene demon knight was a bloody legend. His reputation was completely built from slaughter and slaughter. Even his terrifying body wasn't born with it. But after he created his own technique, his body naturally changed, becoming one that was most suited for slaughter. He was definitely one of the killing gods of the Virtual Universe Company. I understand, Candle Monarch frowned. Dark Candle King. King Long Ju revealed a smile as he waved his hand. The two illusionary spirit clan girls immediately retreated. The Candlelight King looked at him. King Long Ju smiled and said, "You and I have worked together for countless years, and I have rarely refused to give you face. However, Candle Emperor, this Luo Feng is after all one of the few absolute geniuses of our Virtual Universe Company that are highly regarded. The loss this time is only 10 million mixed elements. To think such a small loss can bring down an absolute genius, that's impossible." "Thanks." Candle Monarch's eyes lit up. He could hear it. King Longju had already hinted to him that Luo Feng was one of the few geniuses of the Virtual Universe Company, referring to all the geniuses in Yuxiang Mountain. Without a guarantee, it was best not to deal with Luo Feng, or else he would anger the upper echelon of the Virtual Universe Company. "Haha, then I'll leave first." King Long Ju smiled and left. Candle Emperor personally stood up and sent Long Ju off. After a while, Candle Emperor returned to the stone chair that was covered in the skin of the nine-meng beast. Lying on the soft skin, Candle Emperor squinted his eyes. This Long Ju is quite slick, playing the good guy on both sides. Candle Emperor said softly. The 5 people in charge each represented the 5 great powers. The moment a transaction exceeded 1 million mixed elements, the 5 had to approve it together. After working together for so long, naturally these 5 would form some common understandings. For example, if Candle Emperor was strong, the other 4 would give way. Normally, they wouldn't mess with Candle Emperor. Like small transactions, like dealing with a certain punk, like dealing with Luo Feng, Longju had his limits too. For example, if Candle Emperor wanted to send Luo Feng to the first Starfield prison, he would definitely not agree. However, as long as it didn't cross the line, he would naturally close one eye. No matter what, his relationship with Luo Feng was still very shallow. As long as Candle Emperor didn't cross the line, he would let Candle Emperor do whatever he wanted. However, the moment it involved a large transaction, no one would be soft. When it involved the faces of the powers behind them, they would rather die than retreat. A small punishment and imprisonment of Luo Feng was a small matter. It was just a small matter. However, if he were to send Luo Feng to the first Starfield prison, that would truly be a loss of face. It's a pity I didn't find any evidence. Candle Emperor's eyes gleamed with ferocity. If I can frame Luo Feng for setting up the trap, killing the leaders, and stealing over 10 million mixed element bug corpses, then Luo Feng would be finished, his prized disciple would be finished. That True Yin Emperor would definitely be furious. True Yin Emperor, don't be too happy. Candle Emperor's expression was twisted. I have plenty of patience. I'll definitely make you suffer. Make you die. As long as I can achieve this goal, I'll be willing even if I die. Candle Emperor's eyes were filled with a sickly madness. He had always been smooth sailing with no one daring to mess with him. Under his father's intimidation, even the powerful beings were friendly to him. He had been smooth sailing for over 10 million years. How arrogant was he? Until he met True Yin, that violent and intrepid True Yin. True Yin who didn't lower his head at all. He had suffered the greatest setback. He had come back time and time again, only to be trampled on time and time again, even to the point of collapse, causing him to enter a state of madness. Back then, he had hysterically shouted those words to his father. Kill True Yin. Kill him. If he doesn't die, I'll die. There'll be no me. There'll be no me. However, his father, Shi had sent him to the 9th Starfield prison, a nightmare of 1,000 years. 1,000 years in prison. Many of his setbacks were even more than what True Yin had given him. It was almost like he had sunk into hell. However, those setbacks, made Candle Emperor hate True Yin even more. He felt that everything was brought about by True Yin. The source of everything was True Yin. When he came out of the Starfield prison, he had already become able to endure, but in truth his heart was even crazier. Candle Emperor only had one goal. Let True Yin suffer. Kill True Yin. I want True Yin to feel fear, regret, and unwillingness because of me. I want to achieve all of this. I'll die willingly. Winnie. Candle Emperor laid on the soft Jiu Meng beast skin chair and said softly. A ghostly silhouette appeared. Master. The ghostly silhouette bowed. Head to Luo Feng's home. Earth. Candle Emperor ordered. You don't have to do anything. Just place one of my undying crystals on Earth. You can head out now. Yes, Master. The ghostly silhouette said respectfully. Wang. Jade green light enveloped the surroundings. Space rippled. So, a space passage formed and vanished. The ghostly silhouette had used the God Country transfer to leave the Wulong starfield. True Yin, I'm an undying. I have plenty of time. Take it slow. Candle Emperor smiled. His smile was absolutely beautiful. Rain Palace. Luo Feng sat crossed-legged within Rain Palace, his consciousness entering his internal world. Within the vast internal world, the black-clothed Luo Feng was above the endless ocean. Bug Clan Island, condense. Black-clothed Luo Feng pointed at the endless ocean below. Immediately, the endless ocean water began to roar, after which it began to crumble and become pure world energy. Within a 100,000 kilometers radius, the ocean water all became endless world energy, after which the world energy began to condense and form mountain rocks. The endless world energy that reverberated in the sky also gushed in. After a while, an island with a diameter of 100,000 kilometers was formed. On it there was soil, grass, hills, valleys, and lakes. It was like a normal land world. Alina, from today onwards, you will live here. Black-clothed Luo Feng ordered. In his hand was a world ring. The Queen Alina was placed within. From the central continent, she was moved to an island in the endless ocean. Yes, Master. The Queen Alina and the Bug Clan Mother Nest landed on the island simultaneously. This is 300 Sector Lord Bug Clan units. According to my estimation, it should be able to create a 3 million Sector Lord army of Tiger Clan warriors. Black-clothed Luo Feng said, simultaneously taking out large amounts of Bug Clan corpses from the world ring. Even in the internal world, Luo Feng couldn't teleport. He couldn't teleport the corpses from the central continent over. He had to use the storage equipment to transport them over. 300 units? The Queen Alina was curious. Each Sector Lord Bug Clan unit has 100,000 Sector Lord Pinnacle Bug Clan corpses. Luo Feng explained, beside the large amounts of Bug Clan corpses piled up, a total of 30 million Sector Lord corpses piled up to form a huge corpse mountain. Wah! The Queen Alina's eyes gleamed. Her chest rose and fell excitedly. How fast are you nurturing the Sector Lord Pinnacle Tiger Clan? Luo Feng asked. I can nurture 10 a day. The Queen Alina said, after all, they're Sector Lord Pinnacle Bug Clan. Every one of them is filled with extremely strong energy, hence their speed is slow. If I were to create some star-level Bug Clan, they would be able to endlessly pour out from the mother nest holes. 10 a day? More than 3,000 tiger beetles a year. 300 years to nurture a 1 million Sector Lord army. HM, it takes me a long time to train anyway. Luo Feng nodded. Then you can begin now. Yes, Master. The Queen Alina was obviously filled with excitement and anticipation. So, the Queen Alina flew into the mother nest, following which the over 800 m tall round-like mountain-like mother nest immediately rose into the air, smashing into the Sector Lord Bug Clan corpse mountain, drilling into it. Nurturing black-clothed Luo Feng watched quietly. After 2 hours, that Bug Clan corpse mountain slightly moved, following which a malevolent Bug Clan that was over 10 stories tall crawled out. Its entire body was covered in an incomparably thick carapace, incomparably majestic and barbaric. When this intrepid Sector Lord Pinnacle Tiger Clan warrior saw Luo Feng, it immediately leapt and landed on the ground with a rumble, extremely respectful towards Luo Feng. The first Tiger Clan warrior. Luo Feng's eyes gleamed with glee. A million-sector Lord army. Luo Feng almost seemed to see an endless amount of Sector Lord Tiger Clan warriors forming an army. His blood couldn't help but boil with excitement and anticipation. As for the Bug Clan corpses used to create the Sector Lord army, they were obtained from the Wu Long starfield. Regarding this, Luo Feng didn't feel guilty or uneasy at all. At Luo Feng's level of mental state training, he had long been able to see his true self. Seeing through all lies and lies, he wouldn't be easily blinded by them. His heart was like a mirror, seeing through all lies and lies. Seeing his true self, straight to his true self. Luo Feng was very clear on his true self, ever since he left Earth to roam the universe, as the strongest warrior of Earth, especially after seeing how the ancient families were destroyed one by one, some planets being enslaved, even seeing the Golden Horn race become the vassals of humanity. The Golden Horn race felt a sense of inferiority and unwillingness. Luo Feng felt a sense of danger. I have to become stronger. I have to put in all my effort, fight for my roots. If the roots die, how can the leaves live? Back then, Luo Feng was able to fight to the death with the Golden Horn beast. He had long treated Earth as his roots. Maybe he was very strong, surpassing all the humans on Earth. However, his roots were on Earth. If one day Earth was destroyed and all his comrades died, then what was the point of living alone? Luo Feng knew his true self. When he ignited his soul to fight the Golden Horn beast, he already knew. He needed to protect. He needed to protect his home, his roots, Earth. Advance, continue to advance. I need to constantly get stronger. I will put in all my effort. Luo Feng's gaze was like a blade, very determined. On the path of becoming stronger, there would be many situations like the assassination by the Bug Clan before. That flame undying self-destructed and destroyed large amounts of Bug Clan corpses. Under such circumstances, Luo Feng would simply take away 300 Bug Clan corpses. Taking away so many corpses wouldn't affect the entire Wu Long starfield at all. However, it would be extremely beneficial to his own growth, and he wouldn't harm anyone. Why not? Harming people, Luo Feng rarely did. However, if it involved the survival of Earth, even if it was some innocent life forms, Luo Feng would still slaughter them without hesitation. With a clear heart, he would do things without hesitation, direct and decisive. Taking away those corpses was taking away. A massacre was a massacre. So what? Seeing one's true self? One's true self. As long as one's true self was firm, unaffected by external influences, no matter if one became a killing demon, or a kind and perfect person, or an evil person, only with a clear heart would one be able to walk further and further on the long path of training. However, even with a clear heart, the path of the strong was still filled with danger. Like this time, Luo Feng almost died. Pa! 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 There was a knock on the door of Rain Palace. Luo Feng, you can come out. Long K Emperor's voice resounded. Luo Feng, who was sitting cross-legged within Rain Palace, opened his eyes filled with a smile. 3 chapters finished. This 3rd chapter was the one that took the most time in the past month. My God, he had revised it at least 5 times. I believe everyone has some understanding of Luo Feng's true self. Chapter 701. Rumble, Silky Rain Palace's tightly shut door. Under the 2 Sector Lord Guards' forceful movements, it finally opened to the 2 sides. Dressed in silver armor, Luo Feng smiled and walked out. Luo Feng, I've made you suffer this time. Long K Emperor walked over. It's all right. Luo Feng smiled. That Candle Emperor is merely from the Battle Act Coliseum. I don't believe he can do anything. Haha. Long K Emperor laughed loudly, his laughter resounding throughout the walkways. Your words are indeed right. No matter what, you are still a member of our virtual universe company. And this time you're the victim of the assassination. You are the victim, yet Candle Emperor still did that. It was indeed too much. Luo Feng looked at Dylan beside him. Dylan, I'm preparing to make a trip into the Wu Long starfield. You're still going? Dylan was stunned. I've already paid 1 million mixed elements. Don't tell me I'm not going to collect the goods? Luo Feng teased. Beside, Long K Emperor nodded. Collecting the goods is a given. This time, I'll personally accompany you in. I'll personally be your guide this time. How can that do? Luo Feng was surprised. Why not? Long K Emperor asked. Prepare what to enter. I don't want to waste time either. Let's do it now. Luo Feng nodded. All right, then let's depart now. Long K Emperor led 2 white-robed underlings and sat with Luo Feng in his universe ship, heading towards the Wu Long starfield where the countless sector Lord Bug corpses were stored. Wong, the space rippled and a universe ship appeared. The cabin door opened and Luo Feng, Long K Emperor, and the 2 white-robed men flew out. Ah, this is the place where I was assassinated. Luo Feng looked at the universe coordinates on the screen of his wrist guard, shocked. We directly teleported here? I remember the last time I came here, the 2 guides first brought me to the open area, and then they slowly flew over. That's normal. Long K Emperor shook his head. I don't have to follow. Wulong Starfield storage region prohibited undyings from entering. However, the last time Luo Feng was assassinated, Long K Emperor brought Dylan in. Long K and the other 4 had special privileges. TSK. Luo Feng surveyed his surroundings. The mess caused by the flame, undying self-destruction had all disappeared. Replacing it were large amounts of Sector Lord Bug corpses arranged neatly. Longju Emperor, this speed is really fast. It's only been a day, and everything has changed. Huh? King Longju asked, how many of those 200 Zerg corpses did you see? I've seen half of it, Luo Feng said. Then I'll bring you down. You can choose after you've seen the 200 Zerg corpses. King Longju said. Luo Feng flipped his hand, and immediately 200 metal plates floated before him. With a thought, he split them into 2 piles, 1 big pile, and 1 small pile. This small pile of metal plates corresponds to the Zerg corpses. I've never seen them before. Oh, King Longju's eyes swept over the area and quickly determined the fastest route. Then let's go, King Longju said. King Longju brought Luo Feng. The 4 of them began to fly in the space of the Wu Long starfield, through the bug corpses. Half a day later, Luo Feng had already finished looking at the rest of the bodies. Thinking about the situation of the 200 bodies, he naturally had a list of the top 100. Even though I have 300 bodies now, the way I got them is after all shady. Now that I bought another 100, I don't have to fear much. Luo Feng thought. Simultaneously, he turned and smiled at Longju Emperor. King Longju, I've finished looking. I've already decided which 100 to buy. Ah. Longju Emperor looked at Luo Feng. Which 100? These. Luo Feng flipped his hand and took out 100 metal plates. Longju Emperor's gaze swept over them, swiftly comparing them with the internal information he had. He couldn't help but look shocked at Luo Feng. Powerful. These Sector Lord Bug corpses are all broken. It's hard to differentiate them. The 100 you chose, according to the quality, you pretty much picked the best 100. Even the internal information couldn't be that detailed. After all, they didn't have the energy to investigate the sea of Sector Lord Bug corpses. Hence, they only had the most basic level like the top quality, high quality, middle quality, low quality. This was information Longju Emperor and the others had gotten themselves. They could earn some benefits from it. And Luo Feng's choice was to pick all of the 200 high-quality ones. The rest were middle-quality ones. The metal plates Longju Emperor gave Luo Feng were mainly the high, middle, and low-quality ones. Don't tell me Longju Emperor can't bear to part with them? Luo Feng smiled. Of course not. Longju Emperor turned and casually threw 50 metal plates to 2 of his subordinates. The 2 of you, each take 50 bug corpses and bring them over. Yes. The 2 white-robed men bowed respectfully, after which they became 2 beams of light and split up to collect. Luo Feng, we just need to wait. Longju Emperor said. Ichim. Luo Feng creased his eyebrows. Longju Emperor, I want to know, that Kazel who tried to assassinate me. Have you found any information? Just who tried to assassinate me? We found some. However, we're still investigating. Long Ju Emperor waved his hand, and a universe ship appeared in midair. The cabin door automatically opened. Let's talk inside. Luo Feng nodded, following Long Ju Emperor into the universe ship. At this time, in the faraway Tajin universe, country Lanhai star field, in space above a very normal life planet Bomo, the space rippled, and a black spacecraft appeared out of nowhere. The disk's lower abdomen automatically split open, and 3 silhouettes flew out. The leader was an old man dressed in purple armor, emitting a heart-palpitating ripple of origin loss. He waved his hand and kept the disc-shaped ship, ordering solemnly, "We have to catch the target. No mistakes can be made." "Yes." The 2 black armored warriors bowed respectfully. "Let's go." Under the command of the purple-armored old man, he immediately brought his 2 subordinates and quickly flew to this ordinary planet, Bomo Planet. Bo-Mo Planet was a planet with a diameter of 18,219 kilometers. The oxygen ratio in the air reached 36%. The temperature of the entire planet varied greatly. Even on the same day at the same place, it could be negative 30 degrees in the morning, 50 or 60 degrees in the afternoon. However, humans were very adaptable. This Bo-Mo planet had a population of about 22 billion. And today, there were 3 strong warriors, 1 Thunder, Undying, and 2 Sector Lord Pinnacle warriors that entered this normal life planet. The virtual universe system has already confirmed the location of the contact network. The purple-armored old man stood on the balcony of a skyscraper, gazing down at the city, ordering coldly, "The target is in this city. Find him and bring him to me." "Yes, Captain." The 2 sector lords bowed respectfully. At the same time, the 2 of them released their world force, easily enveloping this city that was only 100 kilometers wide. Everything that happened in the city, the evil in the dark corners, the birth of a new life in the hospital, the quarrel between husband and wife, the depravity in the brothels, the cultivation of some weak martial artists, everything was clear. "Lock on the target." "Lock on." The 2 sector lords simultaneously confirmed the target's location. Within one of the old skyscrapers, there was a green-haired man wearing a consciousness sensor connecting to the virtual universe network. So. The 2 sector lords simultaneously became beams of light, instantly traversing tens of km, arriving at the old skyscraper, easily capturing the green-haired man. "Captain, we've already captured him." The moment the sector lord's voice resounded, suddenly, an incomparably terrifying and ferocious energy suddenly erupted from the depths of the city. Rumble, the city instantly turned into dust. Following that, the ferocious energy seemed to have engulfed the entire planet in an instant. Whether it was the ocean, land, or mountains, everything instantly shattered. Even the core of the explosion tore open the universe space. The entire life planet, in an instant, was destroyed. Outside the planet, rumble, rumble, rumble. The 3 silhouettes instantly shot tens of thousands of kilometers into the sky, standing in outer space, looking at that life planet, Bomo Planet. This life planet was filled with endless amounts of dust. The surface of the planet was completely plowed through. The strongest of the natives of this planet was only a star level 9. They couldn't escape this disaster at all. "Captain." The 2 sector lords had traces of blood at the corners of their mouths, their bodies swiftly recovering, looking up at their captain. "The target is dead. The trail has been cut off." The purple-armored old man gazed at the planet. "Let's go." The 2 sector lords turned to look at the life planet, sighing softly. They all boarded the universe ship and left. Only Bo-Mo Planet was left in the midst of destruction. The entire planet's 22 billion people were wiped out. Wulong Starfield. In the Sector Lord Bug Corpse's area, a universe ship stopped in the space tunnel. Luo Feng. Emperor Long K ran to a resting cabin door. "Hua." The cabin door opened. "Emperor Long K." Luo Feng looked curiously at him. "I've just received news." Emperor Long K's expression was serious, our virtual universe company has been investigating all of Kozil's activities in the virtual universe network, like emails, calls, conversations, etc. We've finally found some clues. We found a clue. We're preparing to control an important target. However, during the capture, the target's planet had a huge explosion. The entire planet's 22 billion people all died. What? Luo Feng's expression changed. 22 billion. Emperor Long K nodded seriously. Yes, according to our exchange with the other races, this vicious method should be the work of the Bug Clan's hidden organization. Bug Clan? Luo Feng's expression changed. Emperor Long K nodded. The Bug Clan specializes in soul attacks and controlling large amounts of life. Hence, the Bug Clan's hidden organization is extremely hard to deal with. And the moment a chess piece is a problem, they'll immediately give up on it. And they'll even take revenge. Causing a planet to fall into destruction. That's a form of revenge. However, even though we know there's revenge, we still have to investigate. Even if we fail 100 or 1,000 times, as long as we succeed once, we'll be able to heavily damage the Bug Clan's hidden organization that they've spent countless resources to build. Luo Feng took a deep breath. 22 billion people, all the life on a life planet. Just like that, they'd all die. The exchange between the races was indeed cruel. You have to be careful. Obviously, you're already on the Bug Clan's hit list. Emperor Long K emphasized. P.S. Today's 1 night, tomorrow's 3. Chapter 702. Understand. Luo Feng nodded seriously. Bug Clan? He didn't expect that after acquiring the Bug Clan mother nest, he would immediately be ambushed by the Bug Clan. Of course, there wasn't any relationship between the two. No matter who it is, if they want me dead, they could dream on. Even if I die, I'll take a huge bite out of them. Luo Feng swiftly began to ponder on how to deal with the Bug Clan and other alien races. With a computing speed that was comparable to a quantum computer, Luo Feng continued to ponder on various plans, like the Masha clansman carrying the core and leaving it in a safe place. Letting his Earth body go out to explore, this seemed to be the safest plan. However, Luo Feng immediately rejected this plan, because that way, if at any point in time his Earth body was killed, it would definitely make many people think he was dead. The virtual universe company would know about this too. If at this time, another Earth body was formed in his internal world, at this time, Luo Feng would appear again. Even an idiot wouldn't know. There was definitely a problem with Luo Feng. A domain lord couldn't possibly have an undying body. Only by carrying the core with me will I be able to deal with all sorts of situations. However, it's dangerous too. Luo Feng pondered. After thinking for 3 seconds, Luo Feng already had a plan in mind. It was the best plan he could think of at the moment. Let's do that. Luo Feng nodded within. After chatting with Long K for a while, Long K returned to his resting cabin. After all, the 2 white-robed men needed about 3 days to collect 100 units of bug corpses. Luo Feng and Longju Emperor naturally couldn't spend the entire 3 days chatting. Naturally, they rested within the cabin. Within the cabin, Luo Feng sat in his chair, splitting a thread of his consciousness to connect to the virtual universe network. Yuxiang Mountain Primal Region, Luo Feng's villa, study. Luo Feng sat in front of his desk and looked at the laptop in front of him. Entering the treasury, the screen appeared. Secret techniques, weapons, rare treasures, technological weapons, materials, tools, living beings, and other special categories. Luo Feng directly opened the rare treasures category. Very quickly, he found a world. World Villa, 0. 020. 1 mixed elements. World House, 0. 1 mixed elements, 0. 3 mixed elements. World Belt, 0. 3 to 3 mixed elements. World Ring, 0. 5 mixed elements, 10 mixed elements. The different types were all categorized in detail. This was an item with a world. The bigger it was, the cheaper it was. Just like back then when Luo Feng entered the universe mercenary exam for the first time, the world he entered was within a villa. The entire world seemed to have merged into a villa. To carry a world, the smaller the object, the harder it was to carry it. A belt could carry a world. If this world was to be fused into a ring, then the materials used for the ring would be far more expensive than the belt. So, the price of creating a world wasn't considered high. Any world overlord would be able to create a world. It was just that there were big and small ones. But to create a world ring, that ring was the most expensive. Even the cheapest in the virtual universe company's treasury was 0. 5 mixed elements. 0. 5 mixed element units to 10 mixed element units. This range represented different spatial ranges. The smallest one was 10,000 kilometers in length, width, and height. The largest one was 100 million kilometers in length, width, and height. And the ring Luo Feng was gifted in the Wu Long starfield was 100,000 kilometers in length, width, and height. The world ring's price was about 1 mixed element. To a customer who bought over 1 million mixed elements worth of goods, gifting a world ring wasn't much. And the trash mountain, it was too much to handle. However, in terms of price, a world ring was countless times more expensive than a space ring. This was because almost all universe-level warriors had a space ring. Even mini-star levels had one. However, a Sector Lord Pinnacle had an average wealth of about 10 mixed elements. Normally, they would spend most of their wealth on training, weapons, armor, techniques, and a portion of their wealth on universe ships. It was almost impossible for them to spend 10% of their wealth on a world ring. They would rather use their internal world. At most, they would create a world house. When they become undying, they would use even more valuable materials to merge the world house into a world ring. So, undying and below, it was very rare to see anyone use a world ring, unless they had a huge background and huge wealth. Purchase a world ring. F10 model, 100 million kilometers in length, width, and height. Luo Feng swiftly clicked. Primal Region members had a 30% discount. They only needed to spend 7 mixed elements to buy it. Your Majesty Luo Feng, I've confirmed your location is in the Wu Long starfield. Someone will send it over immediately. A gentle lady's voice resounded. No need for now. Why need you to send the goods? You can send it over. Luo Feng ordered. Yes, Your Majesty, Luo Feng. Closing the laptop screen, Luo Feng revealed a smile. An extremely large world ring was in his hands. Once he left the Wu Long starfield storage area and obtained the world ring, his plan could begin. Bug Clan? Want to kill me? Oomph. I'd rather lie low for 1,000,000 years than follow the footsteps of a genius like Kudi. Luo Feng thought. The chances of geniuses dying along the way were very high. 1. The path of training was already filled with danger. 2. Geniuses would be envied. Assassinations by other races, internal conflicts within the races would cause the geniuses to meet with danger. After this battle, Luo Feng became even more cautious. On the 4th day after the 2 white-robed men left to collect the Bug Clan corpses, they finally returned. Outside the universe ship's cabin door, Lord, the 2 white-robed men stood in mid-air, bowing respectfully to Long K Emperor. You've brought it. Long K Emperor looked at them. Yes, Lord. The 2 simultaneously took out all the Bug Clan corpses they had collected. Immediately, in the empty space beside them, 2 small corpse mountains appeared. They were both 10 kilometers tall. Luo Feng looked at the 2 little bug corpse mountains floating in mid-air, nodding slightly and immediately absorbing them into his internal world. As absorbing into the internal world and the world ring were exactly the same, they were both world ripples. Hence back then Luo Feng absorbed the Bug Clan mother nest into his internal world. Now he absorbed the Bug Clan corpse mountain into his internal world. Luo Feng, the Bug Clan corpses are in my hands. There shouldn't be any problems, right? However, you chose the 100 units. Long K Emperor smiled at Luo Feng. Haha, of course there's no problem. Luo Feng smiled and nodded. As for the other 100 metal plates, Luo Feng had already given them to Long K Emperor. Now that the Bug Clan corpses are in your hands, are you preparing to search for treasure in the Trash Mountain? Long K Emperor looked at Luo Feng. Actually, the reason he accompanied Luo Feng was out of habit. As long as a person had potential, Long K Emperor wouldn't easily piss him off. However, accompanying Luo Feng for a few days wasn't much. That would take a long time. Luo Feng could naturally tell what Long K Emperor was thinking. He smiled. It's rare for me to come here. And with the world ring you guys gave me, of course I have to make a trip to the Trash Mountain. However, Long K Emperor, these few days you've accompanied me, it's already been troublesome enough. I'll be heading to the Trash Mountain to search for treasure. These two guides can just follow me. HM, that's fine. Long K Emperor nodded and didn't decline. The two of you follow Luo Feng. Remember, the moment you notice anyone approaching from the surveillance, immediately avoid them. Don't allow anyone to get close to you. Long K Emperor ordered seriously. Yes, Lord. The two white-robed men replied respectfully. Then I'll be leaving. I wish Luo Feng that you'll be able to obtain an astronomical amount of treasure in the Trash Mountain. Emperor Long K laughed loudly as he looked at Luo Feng. The assassination attempt before? This is my luck. After the bad luck passes, it becomes good luck. To be assassinated within the Wu Long star field. It's a rare occurrence in over 100 million years. The chances of getting treasures, there are much lower than in the Trash Mountain. Luo Feng mocked himself. If I can even encounter an assassination, then I'll probably encounter treasures too. They'll be heading back first. Long K Emperor nodded. After which, he boarded his universe ship and swiftly became a beam of light, disappearing into the distance of the space tunnel. The two white-robed men stood respectfully beside Luo Feng. One of them said, Your Majesty, there are trash mountains everywhere in the Wu Long starfield. May I know where Your Majesty will start searching for treasures? We'll first travel through the universe and randomly point at a location. Luo Feng shook his head and laughed. At least this region that was just attacked shouldn't be my lucky spot. Sitting in the standard ship, Luo Feng would occasionally point at a location. After traveling through the universe, he would randomly search for 1 or 2 trash mountains to search for treasures. He wouldn't know if he didn't search for treasures. The moment he did, he was shocked. These trash mountains were indeed all trash. They were all worthless remains. Of course, no matter how worthless they were still much better than the diamonds on Earth. After all, they were remains left behind from the war between races. However, even if he filled up the entire 100,000-kilometer space ring, it probably wouldn't even be worth 0. 1 mixed elements. After all, 0. 1 mixed elements was enough to buy a normal galaxy. Treasures, it really depends on luck. Let's go. We'll travel through the universe. Luo Feng's mood was good. He wasn't affected by the assassination or Candle Emperor's matter at all. This was a reflection of his mental state. Head to the nearest stopping point. Luo Feng ordered. Yes, Your Majesty, Luo Feng. The two white-robed men replied. The ship immediately traveled through the universe and returned to the primal universe. A large area around them was empty. Any further, and there would be endless amounts of goods. In between the goods, there would occasionally be a huge mountain of trash. The size of the trash mountain was much larger than the goods. Luo Feng creased his eyebrows. He felt a faint attraction calling out to his entire body. His entire body cells felt like they were boiling. What's going on? Luo Feng looked into the distance. It was in that direction that there seemed to be a magnetic field constantly acting on his body. P.S. Chapter 1 here. Chapter 703. Under the summoning of that shapeless magnetic field, the skin on his entire body was slightly numb and all of his cells were boiling, including his bones and organs. This summoning caused Luo Feng's entire body to tremble, as if it was desperately calling out to Luo Feng. Come, hurry, come here. Your Majesty, Luo Feng. Which direction do we go? There are many trash mountains around. One of the black-skinned, white-robed man asked. There. Luo Feng pointed at the distant trash mountain. Yes. The two white-robed men acknowledged respectfully, after which they used their world energy to envelop Luo Feng. The three of them became beams of light and swiftly flew towards the distant, majestic trash mountain. It seemed close, but in truth, the distance was extremely far. With a speed of 100,000 kilometers per second, they flew for over 3 hours before reaching the trash mountain. Your Majesty can enter the trash mountain to search for treasures. The two of us will wait here. Call us when you're done. The black-skinned, white-robed man said respectfully. Luo Feng frowned, as he felt that the summoning wasn't that strong, immediately becoming a beam of light and flying towards the trash mountain. The mountain was like an extremely large planet. Its diameter should be at least 100,000 kilometers. After circling around the garbage mountain for a short while, he flew to the back of the garbage mountain. Luo Feng's back faced the trash mountain, looking at the distant space. It's still in that direction. The thing that's summoning me isn't in this trash mountain, but somewhere even further away. Luo Feng looked curiously into the distance. The distant space was filled with goods. In the distance, he could vaguely see a trash mountain. Luo Feng didn't dare confirm that the mysterious item that was summoning him wasn't in that trash mountain. Anyway, it was in this direction. So, Luo Feng flew back to the two white-robed men. Your Majesty, you've finished searching? The two looked shocked at Luo Feng. It was too fast. I don't want to search for treasures in this trash mountain. Luo Feng shook his head, pointing into the distance. Let's continue in that direction. I want to rely on my intuition to find a trash mountain I like. These absolute geniuses' temperaments are indeed weird, relying on their intuition to find treasures. However, he just said it was this trash mountain. In the blink of an eye, he wants to change, really. However, who asked him to be arranged by Lord Long Quebec, the two-sector Lord Pinnacle leaders muttered within. On the surface, they were still very respectful and passionate. Yes, Your Majesty, Luo Feng. The world energy was released, once again enveloping Luo Feng. The three became beams of light and flew into the distance, continuously flying. After flying past a mountain of trash, the summoning still didn't come from here. So he continued to fly forward, flying past one garbage mountain after another. They had been flying for a total of 16 days. The two guides were muttering to themselves that this genius was really hard to deal with. Even the selection of garbage mountains was so strict, but they didn't dare to disobey. Since it was King Long Ju's order, of course they would have to work hard to carry it out, and could only keep flying like this. Rumble, after circling around the mountain of trash in front of him, that incredibly strong calling caused Luo Feng's blood flow to explosively increase. Every cell in his body was boiling, and he was about to go berserk. This is it. I want to search for treasures here, said Luo Feng after flying to the two white-robed men. The two white-robed men exchanged glances and let out a sigh of relief. Holy, this Luo Feng finally decided to pick a trash mountain. They've been flying for a total of 16 days, and they've been maintaining a speed of 100,000 kilometers per second. Do they have it easy? The two of us will wait for your highness here, said the black-skinned, white-robed man. Yes. Luo Feng couldn't hold it in any longer, flying straight into the mountain. Only after seeing Luo Feng swiftly approach the garbage mountain, turning into a small black and entering the enormous garbage mountain, did the two white-robed men relax and stretch their muscles. At the same time, the other green-skinned, white-robed man said, "We're really unlucky this time. It's already so troublesome to find a garbage mountain, so the next garbage mountain will probably be just as troublesome. Let's make use of the time to relax and rest. I'm preparing to play some virtual games." The black-skinned, white-robed man stood in mid-air, sending a thread of his consciousness into the virtual universe network, and began to play games. Luo Feng was currently drilling deeper into the trash mountain. The entire mountain had a diameter of 100,000 kilometers. All sorts of decaying remains were piled up within. Luo Feng was like a pangolin, drilling deeper and deeper. Close, close. The closer he got, the more he felt the strong calling. His entire body was boiling. After drilling another 10,000 kilometers, Luo Feng creased his eyebrows suspiciously because he felt many messy calls. Some came from the left, some from the right, some straight ahead. There were a total of over 10 calls, all of different strengths and weaknesses. There were actually over 10 calls. There seems to be more than one item. Luo Feng paused for a moment before choosing the strongest one, and flying towards it. At the same time, a formless spirit energy forcefully pushed aside the large amounts of debris around him, creating a path. After traveling for about 30,000 kilometers, Luo Feng finally stopped. Ahead, an armor shard floated. The other items around it were all pushed away by Luo Feng's spirit energy. Waves of calls were emitted from the shard. Armor shard? What is this? Luo Feng looked carefully. This shard was about the size of a normal book cover. It was completely black and floated there. Luo Feng carefully approached. When Luo Feng was around 5 meters away, the floating shell suddenly seemed to have a life of its own. The entire shell wriggled and fiercely flew towards Luo Feng. It was as fast as lightning and instantly leaped towards Luo Feng's right hand. It directly touched Luo Feng's skin and wanted to drill into his body. Chi! A green membrane immediately appeared on Luo Feng's right hand. It was the cloud contact armor. It forcefully separated the black shard. Luo Feng used his spirit energy to try and force the shard away. However, he was shocked to find the shard was trying its best to get closer to his skin. Just his spirit energy alone was unable to resist the shard's strength. A thin vine extended from his finger. It was one of the 216 main vines. The slender green vine instantly wrapped around the carapace fragment. The vines also tightly wrapped around the carapace fragment. The shard struggled with all its might to resist. However, it was forcefully controlled by this cloud contact vine. Just what is this? It looks like a dead item. However, when I get close, it wants to drill into my skin. Luo Feng creased his eyebrows as he pondered, and it can even send out a mysterious call. Obviously, other people in the Wu Long starfield shouldn't be able to feel this call. If they felt it, they would definitely follow the call and find this item. Even if they didn't know its secrets, they would still take it away. Trillions of years. Looking at the many rotting items, it was obvious that the items in the depths of this garbage mountain had a long history. Many people in the Wu Long starfield had come before, but none of them took this item away. Weird. Why am I being summoned? Others can't feel it? Luo Feng creased his eyebrows. I'm not that special compared to others. Is it the Blood River energy? No, the Virtual Universe Company definitely has many that have absorbed the crystals. Unless it's because of the mysterious metal board on Earth and the incomplete, nameless manual? Or is it because of the Earth's genes? The reason couldn't be confirmed. However, Luo Feng didn't dare casually let this thing enter his body. It would be fine if it was beneficial, but the moment there was trouble, it would be too late for regrets. Luo Feng flipped his hand and took out the silver white world ring. This was given to him by Long K Emperor. The world within was 100,000 kilometers in length, width, and height. The items he brought from the garbage mountain would at most fill up the world ring. It was forbidden to bring more. And the surveillance system of the Wu Long starfield could detect the size of all the items. The items Luo Feng took would be calculated by the system. The moment it reached 100,000 kilometers in length, width, and height, it would naturally be recorded. I'll let the core temporarily stay in this world. Even if something happens to my Earth body, at most I'll just form another body. Luo Feng flipped his hand and a black stone appeared. This was the Masha clansman stone. Within it was the core. With a thought, he threw the stone into the silver white world ring. This world ring, during the treasure hunt before, Luo Feng had already infused it with his spirit imprint. All right, the core has already entered the world ring. Luo Feng looked at the black shell shard before him. Come. The vine swiftly let go of the black carapace shard. Right after it let go, the black carapace shard immediately rushed towards Luo Feng's finger. Once it touched his finger, it turned into a black liquid and swiftly melted into Luo Feng's skin. Right after it melted, Luo Feng received some basic information from the mysterious black carapace shard. It's actually that mysterious? With a thought from Luo Feng, a black carapace appeared on his arm. This black carapace had the same surface area as the black carapace shard from before. This black shell could change, it could shrink and expand. However, the largest it could reach was the size of this shell. The area it covered was similar to the protection of an arm guard. What a strong power! Luo Feng felt that his right arm was filled with immense power. His fist's power was comparable to his sector Lord level 9's. This power was from the black carapace. Even though it was from the carapace, it seemed to have completely fused with Luo Feng's body. Unlike the cloud contact vine's power, only the vine itself could unleash it. This shell was completely controlled by Luo Feng. Just one shard, and it's comparable to a sector Lord level 9's power? Luo Feng was shocked. He didn't care much and immediately went to search for the other 10 sources. So, Luo Feng drilled through the trash mountain, searching for item after item. They were all shell shards. After searching for a while, he had gathered all the special items within the trash mountain. Including the ones I found at the start, there's a total of 18 black shards and 1 silver shard. Luo Feng had already stripped himself completely naked. The 18 black shards had completely fused with his body. These 18 shards had turned into a black liquid. The largest armor it could form was a black vest. However, this black vest gave Luo Feng power. It was comparable to over 20 sector Lord level 9's battle strength. This black shell shard, just what special item is it? Luo Feng looked at the black vest on his body. He was filled with shock. It actually gave me such a strong power. This is obviously still a broken black shell. As for the silver shell, Luo Feng looked at the palm-sized silver shell in his palm. Luo Feng had already tried it before. Only by forcing all the black shards out of his body would he be able to fuse with the silver shell. Just a palm-sized silver shell gave Luo Feng power equivalent to 5 normal sector Lord Pinnacle warriors. The silver shell, its effect is 10 times that of the black shell. It's obviously of a higher level. However, the two are obviously incompatible. Luo Feng thought to himself. The naked Luo Feng stood in the depths of the trash mountain, looking at the black shell shards that were forced out of his body and the silver arm guard, his eyes gleaming. P.S. Chapter 2 has arrived. Chapter 704. These shards have been abandoned in the trash mountain. Who knows how long they've been there? Luo Feng looked at the black shards. Yet they can summon me. If it's not because of the Earth's genes, it's because of the nameless manual. Carefully thinking about himself, only these 2 points were special, something the other humans that came to the Wu Long starfield didn't have. Without a doubt, he was the first Earth human to come here. Secondly, the mysterious metal boards technique. The words were the flame god race's words. Obviously, a strong race that was independent from the human race. Because different races naturally had different training systems, armor systems, etc., and he could have trained in the nameless manual to be able to use it. These are all guesses. I need to verify them in the future. On the surface of Luo Feng's body immediately floated the cloud contact armor, forming a green armor. He also forced out the black and silver shell shards and kept them in his internal world. Flying out of the trash mountain, Luo Feng floated in space, silently concentrating and sensing to see if there was still that summoning. There's really a summoning? Luo Feng's eyes gleamed, looking in another direction, revealing a smile. My guess is not bad. These shards are probably from an ancient race war in the outer region battlefield. Hence they were placed here. Because the robots can't even detect the uniqueness of these shards, scanning them for precious metals that humans don't know about, they were eventually discarded into the trash mountain. And there are many trash mountains. These shards could be separated into different mountains. The summoning to the left ahead was very weak. Your Majesty, Luo Feng. The 2 white-robed men looked at Luo Feng and bowed respectfully. Let's depart. Luo Feng said. Where to? Are we heading to the docking point for universe travel, or continuing to search for the trash mountain? The 2 white-robed men looked at Luo Feng. They were most afraid of taking the wrong path, flying back for over 10 days before taking a ship through universe travel, and then flying again. They might as well head to the nearest trash mountain and collect all the items. This way, the 2 of them could relax. Continue to search for the trash mountain. Luo Feng said. Yes. The 2 were overjoyed within. Head in that direction. Luo Feng pointed in a direction. The two white-robed men immediately released their world energy, carrying Luo Feng forward. After advancing for 3 to 4 days, they realized it was too early to be happy. This majesty Luo Feng was too difficult to serve. He actually didn't even enter the mountains of trash they flew past. The two of them could only focus on rushing, simultaneously sending a part of their consciousness into the virtual universe network to relax. After flying for a total of 21 days, Luo Feng told them to stop. After flying one round around the floating garbage mountain, Luo Feng confirmed that it was this garbage mountain that was calling out to him. "You two stay here." After saying that, Luo Feng entered the trash mountain and started digging. After a while, Luo Feng had obtained 9 black shells and 1 silver shell. Simultaneously, he had randomly picked up some metal and alloy remains which were 10 kilometers in diameter. He had to put on a show. Otherwise, just collecting these black shells alone, how could he fill up the 100,000 kilometers wide and wide world ring? Then, he let the two white-robed men continue to lead him to search for the shell fragments. As time passed, the two white-robed men were considered unlucky to meet Luo Feng. As Luo Feng purely relied on his intuition to pick the garbage mountains, he would often fly for 10 days before choosing one, after which he would sit in his ship and travel through the universe, randomly stopping at a random point in the Wu-Long starfield. After a short walk, he would probably be unhappy and continue to travel to the next point. "You two stay here." After saying that, Luo Feng directly flew towards the floating garbage mountain in front of him. Within the garbage mountain, Luo Feng followed the summoning with ease and easily found 8 shards, 7 black shell shards, and 1 silver shell shard. In total, I've obtained 118 black carapace fragments, 6 silver carapace fragments, and 1 fragmentation blade. Luo Feng flipped his hand and retrieved these items from his internal world. Immediately, a dense cluster of black shell fragments floated before him, along with a small amount of silver shell fragments and a broken blade. Luo Feng looked at them. He already understood the uses of the black and silver shells. Only that broken blade, it had the ability to summon him. It probably came from the same place as the shells. However, he hadn't found a way to use it yet. Draw blood? Touch skin? Spiritual force? Luo Feng had tried all sorts of weapon control methods. However, they were all useless against this blade, almost as though it was a very normal broken blade with no value at all. Even its sharpness was very average. The only special thing about it was that it could produce that special summoning. Hence, Luo Feng collected it. Forget about it. Right now, I have 118 pieces of the black shell. Last time I almost covered my entire body. This time I have 7 more pieces. I should be able to cover my entire body. Luo Feng's thoughts moved, and the cloud contact armor swiftly entered his body. So. Almost like a group of arrows, the 118 black shells all flew towards Luo Feng. The moment they touched Luo Feng, they swiftly transformed into a black liquid that entered Luo Feng's skin and began to gather within his body. This mysterious black liquid seemed to be able to easily merge with Luo Feng's skin and muscles. When the black liquid touched each other, it swiftly began to gather. Threads of black liquid gathered, more and more. Rumble, a sudden change occurred. What? Luo Feng was shocked, carefully feeling within his body. When the black liquid gathered to a certain level and changed, it also forced the threads of black liquid out of his body. This was purely done by the black liquid itself. 2 pieces of black shell appeared on Luo Feng's chest, after which they fell off. Saturated. The black liquid within Luo Feng's body had already reached a saturated level. There was no way for him to gather anymore. I know I can't just keep growing like this. There has to be a limit. It's indeed saturated. Luo Feng carefully felt the changes within his body, the rumbling sound of the black liquid gathering to its limit. Even Luo Feng's ears could hear clearly. The change ended. This is... Luo Feng looked at his bare chest. There was a black engraving on it. It was a very complicated word. However, Luo Feng could recognize it. Flame god language. A very simple word. Soldier. Soldier. Luo Feng looked at the soldier imprint on his chest, following which the imprint automatically disappeared. Even though he couldn't see it with his naked eye, he could feel the soldier imprint on his chest, and the black liquid energy from before had completely merged with the imprint. Before, whenever he merged with the black shell, the moment he forced the black liquid out of his body, it would automatically separate into the shell shape. However, at this time, they had completely merged into this soldier imprint. Soldier? Luo Feng frowned. Flame god language? Seems like it really has something to do with that nameless manual. This soldier, is it the flame god race or some other mysterious race's lowest soldier? This mysterious armor, I'll call it the soldier armor. Luo Feng thought. With a thought, he activated the armor mark on his chest. Immediately, black thread spread out and covered Luo Feng's entire body. At the same time, a ferocious black armor, helmet, and boots appeared on Luo Feng's body. At the same time, an incomparably dense energy flowed through Luo Feng's entire body. This armor seemed to be one with Luo Feng's skin and muscles. This energy was like Luo Feng's own strength. With Luo Feng's feeling, he estimated that there were about 80 to 90 sector Lord Pinnacle's energy gathered. How unbearable! Enveloped within the mysterious armor, Luo Feng felt intense pain all over his body. As the owner of the armor, Luo Feng knew the most basic information. This armor, once the soldier imprint is formed, then it's truly a perfect armor. It can be big or small. If it's big, it's almost limitless. If it's small, it's almost limitless. However, everything requires the body to move, and the burden on the body is huge. Right now, I'm only domain Lord level 9. My body is too weak. I can't unleash the full power of this mysterious armor. The armor itself contained energy. Just Luo Feng's earth body alone could unleash 80 to 90 sector Lord Pinnacle's energy. However, this was just a portion of the armor's power. The main thing was that Luo Feng was too weak. He couldn't unleash it at all. And as big as Luo Feng could grow, the armor could grow as well. Of course, the armor was powered by the body. My body is weak. However, the Golden Horn Beast body is very strong, and the Golden Horn Beast has also trained in the Nameless Manual. Luo Feng was overjoyed within. He immediately forced the armor out of his body, and a black ball flew out. On it, there was a flame god race word being that could be seen faintly. With a thought from Luo Feng, the weapon pearl disappeared into his internal world. Internal world. Like a mountain range, the golden horned beast was lying on the grass. A soldier orb appeared. Woo! The golden horned beast reached out with its right claw and landed on the soldier armor pearl. Immediately, it melted into liquid and melted into the golden horned beast's body. Because this was a complete soldier armor pearl, very naturally, on the golden horned beast's chest scales, a flame godward soldier imprint faintly appeared before disappearing. The golden horned beast stood up. It raised its head and roared loudly, simultaneously activating the armor imprint. Chi. The imprint on its chest shot out tens of thousands of black threads, wrapping around every part of the golden horned beast's body. Immediately, all of the scales on the golden horned beast's body, including its horns and claws, were covered with a very thin layer of black armor, causing the entire golden horned beast to become completely black. Even the golden engravings were completely covered. How the golden horned beast felt the incomparably strong energy coursing through its body. It couldn't help but cheer excitedly. It didn't feel much of a burden on its body at all. Instead, it felt extremely happy. It had a feeling that the armor had been activated to its limit. At this time, the golden horned beast's strength was simply too shocking. It had already unleashed a full 1,000 times Sector Lord Pinnacle strength. This was the true strength of the armor. His fingers' tenosynovitis flared up again. His wrist hurt too. Tomato held back his tears and looked innocently at everyone. It's already like this. Don't you feel bad about not giving me a monthly pass? Chapter 705. Deities of the World. The golden horned beast let out a low roar and immediately used the deity world technique. Adding on its tail, Its huge body that was over 1,200 kilometers long started to shrink rapidly. In the blink of an eye, it had become a golden horned beast that was only a little over 100 kilometers long. As the bone density, muscle density, scale density, etc. all rose, the golden horned beast body became even stronger. And every scale and claw that was infused with a very thin layer of black armor. The energy within also flowed within the golden horned beast body. That was a very tyrannical and powerful energy. Indeed, it's as I expected. In the grass plains, black-clothed Luo Feng stood at the foot of the golden horned beast. Looking up, just now the golden horned beast had already unleashed the armor to its limit. Even with the deities of the world, the armor strength was still about 1,000 times Sector Lord Pinnacle strength. This mysterious armor's limit should be 1,000 times Sector Lord strength. However, it's already very powerful, 1,000 times Sector Lord strength. Just from a strength perspective, it should be comparable to a stronger Undying General. Black-clothed Luo Feng muttered. The last time Luo Feng used the golden horned beast to battle the fire Undying. Hence, he had a rough understanding of the Undying strength. That fire Undying was a very normal Undying. Just his Undying body alone was probably 100 times Sector Lord Pinnacle. And when the golden horned beast exploded, it was 330 times Sector Lord Pinnacle. However, the fire Undying, after all, had a complete grasp of the fire origin laws, and even though Luo Feng had a bit of the beast god mentality, it was still very shallow. His comprehension of the origin laws was, after all, too short. Compared to an Undying that had a complete grasp of the origin laws, the difference was huge. With a difference in the origin laws, he relied on the foundation to suppress the opponent. Hence, they were evenly matched. A normal Undying combining his Undying energy, in terms of strength, was 100 times Sector Lord Pinnacle. The Undying General's Pinnacle should be close to official level. It should be 1,000 times Sector Lord Pinnacle. Black-clothed Luo Feng stood in the grass plains, rubbing his chin as he pondered. Official level Pinnacle is close to Emperor level. Just the Undying body alone should be 10,000 times Sector Lord Pinnacle. As for the peak of the Sealed King realm, if that's the case, once his immortal god body fully explodes, it should be at the level of a peak world overlord 100,000 times. Regarding the gods, Luo Feng knew quite a bit. Even though the inherited memories had very little to do with the Undyings, just the primal region members' privileges alone allowed Luo Feng to read up on a lot of information. The Undying level, the difference in strength was shocking. Just the Undying body alone had a huge difference because Undyings would train their body over time, first reaching the Undying body state. That was what many Undyings were after. As one's strength increased, one's immortal divine body would grow stronger and stronger. At True Yan's level, just his immortal divine body alone would be unparalleled. Coupled with the nomological laws, he indeed had the qualifications to roam the universe. 100,1000 times peak Sector Lord, normal Undyings. 1,000, 10,000 times peak Sector Lord, that's a marquee Undying. 10,000 to 100,000 times the peak of Sector Overlord, that's an Undying King. Luo Feng muttered, "This is just my guess. However, from the information I've gathered, my guess should be more than 60% accurate." Luo Feng's consciousness calculation speed was shocking. His logic and reasoning was also very high, along with the virtual universe company's network and the information he could read, along with his teacher True Yin, Dylan, and that flame Undying's personal exchange. He finally came up with this deduction. Of course, these were just the most basic God energy explosion. They were considered the basics. In the nomological laws, they were considered techniques. Emperor level, official level, Undying General, these three levels, whether it was the most basic Undying body or the nomological laws, the difference was huge. Hence the difference in strength was shocking. If my calculations are correct, an Emperor level early stage, just the Undying body alone would only be able to unleash 10 to 20,000 times Sector Lord Pinnacle strength. Luo Feng thought, and I have 1,000,000 Sector Lord army. The moment I combine my strength, quantity will cause a qualitative change. Even an Emperor-level beginner would have to dodge my Sector Lord army. After acquiring this mysterious armor, Luo Feng was extremely happy. After leaving the Trash Mountain, he continued to search for other shell pieces. In the Dark Universe, the standard ship was flying. Within the ship's control room, two white-robed men stood there obediently, occasionally looking at Luo Feng with a sense of helplessness. "We'll stop here. Head to the nearest stop," Luo Feng ordered excitedly. "Your Majesty, we can't stop," the black-skinned, white-robed man said solemnly. "HM?" Luo Feng turned to look curiously at the white-robed man. The two white-robed men looked at Luo Feng. "What's going on?" Luo Feng creased his eyebrows and asked. The green-skinned, black-robed man beside bowed respectfully and said slowly, "Your Majesty Luo Feng, the two of us have already accompanied you in the Trash Mountain of the Wu Long Starfield for over a year. Every time, we spent at most a year in the Trash Mountain." "Ah!" Luo Feng was stunned. "It was time? We've just received the order from the Wu Long Starfield's management system to allow the two of us to bring Your Majesty Luo Feng and leave." The green-skinned, black-robed man said slowly. However, he couldn't hide his exhaustion. How could he not be tired? For an entire year, the two of them hadn't even rested at all. Luo Feng searched for the Trash Mountains purely based on his intuition. Occasionally, they would bring him and fly continuously for over 10 days or 20 days, suddenly stopping at a random trash mountain to search for treasures. However, after entering the mountain for less than half an hour, they would have to head to an even further trash mountain. They hadn't had a good rest for a year. This was the first time the two of them had met such a difficult customer. "Oh, so the time is up." Luo Feng nodded. "Then let's return." The two white-robed men exchanged glances. They were finally free. "Right, you guys should have a trash mountain and treasure business here, right?" Luo Feng creased his eyebrows. When I was chatting with Long K Emperor before, he mentioned that other than buying items and getting a world ring, you can also come here alone to treasure. It seems like one mixed element can buy a small world ring, 10 mixed elements can buy a medium world ring, and 100 mixed elements can buy a large world ring. At the same time, the treasure time can be bought separately. You can treasure for 1 year, 10 years, 100 years. The two white-robed men's expressions changed greatly. Yes, there was indeed a treasure business. It was purely because the Trash Mountains didn't have much profit, and the cost of dealing with the Trash Mountain itself wasn't small. Hence, they decided to create this treasure business, allowing people who wanted to test their luck to come and waste away the Trash Mountain. They could even earn extra money. Why not? Trash Mountain treasure business? Ah, the black-skinned, white-robed man's expression turned even darker. "Yes, there is." They didn't dare to lie. "Oh." Luo Feng smiled and nodded. "When I return, I'll specially buy world rings and treasure time. The two of you are indeed very serious. When I return to the Trash Mountain treasure, I'll need the two of you to continue leading the way. I wonder if that's possible." The two white-robed men's hearts trembled. These days of flying with no rest at all, were they really going to continue? 1 year? 10 years? 100 years? This was thousands of times more difficult than the usual supervision work. "Ha ha ha!" Luo Feng laughed loudly. "I'm joking. Maintaining the speed of 100,000 kilometers per second for almost an entire year, anyone would be tired. When the time comes, I'll invite another guide." The two white-robed men immediately let out a sigh of relief. "Your Majesty Luo Feng." The two bowed, feeling a little ashamed. "Humans aren't machines after all. You don't have to say much." Luo Feng smiled. In this 1 year, Luo Feng had acquired a total of 132 black shell shards, 7 silver shell shards, and 1 fragmented blade, of which 116 black shell shards formed a perfect armor. On average, every month he got about 11 black shell shards and half a silver one. The golden horned beast has a set of armor. My earth body has to get one too, Luo Feng thought. Luo Feng bought a middle-sized world ring and a 1-year treasure time. The management of the Wu Long starfield naturally arranged for 2 more guides. Luo Feng, you're currently in the Domain Lord level. It's the most important stage of your training. Long Ke looked at Luo Feng. He originally knew Luo Feng's treasure time was up. Hence he personally came to send him off. He didn't expect Luo Feng to continue to treasure in the Trash Mountain. Treasure in the Trash Mountain is just for fun. Don't waste too much time on it. I understand. Luo Feng smiled and nodded. If there's a big reward, you have to tell me. If there's anything valuable, I'll help you sell it. I'll definitely help you sell it for an extremely high price. Long Ke said. Definitely. Luo Feng spoke a few words with Long Ke before bringing the 2 guides and entering the Trash Mountain of the Wu Long starfield to search for treasure. Luo Feng had already carefully studied the armor. It was extremely mysterious. It contained energy within. However, the normal energy consumption came from the host body. Hence, one's body had to be strong enough to unleash the full power of the armor. Other than this, the material of the armor had the ability to obstruct spirit energy and world energy, meaning for a spirit attack to pierce through this armor, it would lose 90% of its power. Of course, as for the ethereal, undying energy, which was whether an undying soul attack would be obstructed, Luo Feng wasn't sure yet. Luo Feng wasn't a god. He couldn't test this. To unleash the full power of the armor, one would need a Sector Lord Pinnacle fitness level. Luo Feng thought. Obviously, this armor was made for a Sector Lord Pinnacle. A Sector Lord wearing this armor would have the power to battle a normal Undying. However, an Undying soul attack, a Sector Lord Pinnacle usually wouldn't be able to block it. Hence, this armor probably has the ability to weaken the soul attack. Only then can a Sector Lord Pinnacle wear this armor and be comparable to a normal Undying. Luo Feng sighed. Which mysterious race had created this mysterious armor? Just the armor alone was already so exaggerated. What about the battle armor made of a higher quality silver carapace? This was definitely an extremely terrifying race. One could see one definitely couldn't underestimate any race that could survive in the universe. Humanity is the pinnacle race. They probably have some trump cards. It's just that my position is still lower. I don't know much about them. Luo Feng thought. In the blink of an eye, another year had passed in the Trash Mountain. Luo Feng finally decided it was time to leave the Wu Long starfield and return to Earth. P.S. First chapter here. Chapter 706. After bidding farewell to Long Ke Emperor, Luo Feng and Dylan sat on the Yun Mo planet ship and left the Wu Long starfield, heading towards the Ganwu universe country. Candle Emperor was leisurely lying on his fur, looking up at the screen before him. Footsteps resounded. A purple-robed man swiftly walked in and bowed respectfully. Lord, what's up? Candle Emperor continued to look at the screen. Luo Feng has already left the Wu Long starfield. The purple-robed man said respectfully. Ah, Candle Emperor laughed lightly. That punk has finally left. I thought he would keep searching for treasures in the Trash Mountain. It's no wonder, being an aborigine, even the trash in the Trash Mountain would treat it as a treasure. All right, you may leave. Yes, Lord. The purple-robed man bowed respectfully and left. Candle Emperor looked up at the screen. The information on the screen suddenly changed, changing to the detailed information on Earth. This was the detailed information he had secretly sent people to Earth to gather. An aborigine planet. Candle Emperor sneered. Punk, we might meet again soon. The Yun Mo planet ship was currently traveling at 50 times light speed in the dark universe. However, to reach Earth, it would take about 1 year and 2 months. The interstellar journey was very boring. If that Candle Emperor knew I had such a treasure, he would probably be furious. Luo Feng laid on the bed of the resting cabin, looking at the decorations above his head. His thoughts, however, were on the rewards from the Trash Mountain. In these 2 years, I've acquired a total of 232 black shells, 12 silver shells, and 1 broken blade. Combining them, there are 2 complete sets of black armor, 3 pieces of black carapace, 12 pieces of silver carapace, and 1 broken blade. These armors could allow one to have undying strength. It was indeed a very powerful treasure. If one were to calculate the price, even with over 10 million mixed elements, one wouldn't be able to buy such a mysterious treasure. It was a pity that these mysterious armors, humans were practically unable to use them. Even those who hadn't discovered the mysteries of the shell fragments, they were obviously from a different race. Different race armor. Just which race is it? The flame god race? Or another mysterious race? However, the words are at least the flame god language. Luo Feng muttered, "It's a pity my Masha clansmen can't use the armor, otherwise I'd get one for myself." The Wulong starfield was simply too vast. A starfield with a diameter of a few million light years. Luo Feng's 2 years of searching probably didn't even cover 1/100,000,000 of the entire Wulong starfield. However, he had already obtained 2 sets of armor. If he spent more time, he would definitely be able to obtain more. However, right now, Luo Feng wanted to spend more time on training. After a period of time, I should head to Primal Chaos City to train. In Primal Chaos City, I'll be able to see the laws of the universe working and occasionally look at the 9-universe tablet. My improvement speed will be even more shocking. Luo Feng thought. I estimate that I'll be able to comprehend the 108 space essences within Primal Chaos City for 100 to 200 years. During his 180 years in the Beast God Canyon, Luo Feng had comprehended 19 out of the 72 most profound types of space essence. Luo Feng estimated that after 700 years, he should be able to completely comprehend the 72 types of space essence. This efficiency was much higher than Lien Luo's 3,000 years in Primal Chaos City. If he was in Primal Chaos City, it would be many times faster. The main thing was Luo Feng had the Beast God statue. The benefits Primal Chaos City gave him weren't as great as others. In Primal Chaos City, the thing that truly attracted Luo Feng was the 9-universe tablet. My 3rd volume of time-space scribbles will soon be useless. I have to buy the 4th, however that requires 1 million points. Where will I get them from? Luo Feng thought hard. Buying the 10,000 soul controlling technique required him to invest a huge amount of points. Right now, he didn't even have enough to buy the 4th volume of time-space scribbles. Time passed. In the blink of an eye, 8 months had passed in the universe journey. D-Mail. Sitting in the resting cabin, Luo Feng immediately connected to the Virtual Universe Network. Virtual Universe, Yuxiang Mountain Primal Region, Luo Feng's villa. Within the study, sitting in front of his desk, Luo Feng opened his laptop and swiftly opened a mail. HM? Luo Feng squinted. The title of the mail was the domain Lord Highest Point Mission. Highest Point? Luo Feng held his breath. With regards to the Highest Point missions, Luo Feng had long heard of the legends. When the core members reached the domain Lord level, they would occasionally receive missions from the Virtual Universe Company. These missions had different amounts of points, of which there was one highest point mission. The highest point missions for members of the primitive secret area were naturally higher than the missions for members of the absolute beginning secret area, heaven and earth secret area, and last phase secret area. How high? Luo Feng stared. The contents of the mail were, this mission is the primal region members, domain lord level. Highest point mission. The entire mission is split into 4 parts. The first part, the highest point, is 100,000 points according to the completion rate. If you complete 70%, you'll get 100,000 times 70%. 70,000 points. The second part, the highest, is 200,000 points. The third part, 300,000 points. The fourth part, 400,000 points. Additional rewards. If you complete all 4 parts, according to the overall performance of the 4 parts, the Virtual Universe Company will award additional rewards. The lowest is 0. The highest is 1 million points. Hence, the entire highest point mission, with the 4 parts and the final additional points, the highest one could get was 2 million points. Warning. Warning. Every part will award points according to the completion rate, and the first part has to be completed at least 80% before you can proceed to the second part. If you don't reach 80%, you won't have the qualifications to proceed to the second part, and the entire mission will automatically end. For example, If the first part is completed at 70%, then you'll only get 70,000 points and the entire mission will end. Damn, the requirements are so high. Chain missions? The points are ridiculously high too. The highest is actually 2 million points. Luo Feng looked at the mail and was completely shocked. Firstly, the points were too ridiculous. Because in the universe level missions, even a number 1 impossible level mission, Purgatory Abyss, only awarded 1 million points. And this highest point mission was extremely peculiar. One had to reach a certain level before they could proceed to the next one. After the fourth part ended, there would be additional rewards, and these rewards were based on the overall performance. The virtual universe company would automatically award them. There wasn't a clear standard. After reading the mail, Luo Feng looked at the attachment. The title was the highest point mission first part. Luo Feng gently tapped and opened the attachment. The contents opened. The first part of the mission is the first step of the entire highest point mission, and also the most important step. This step decides whether or not you can proceed to the next part. At the same time, it's the most basic confirmation of the rewards after the fourth part. Hence, you have to seriously complete this part of the mission. Details of the mission. In the Chui Lang starfield of the Ganwu Universe country, there's a slave trading organization called Phoenix. There's a total of 18 upper echelon members. Other than the normal slave trading, they also operate some dark businesses that don't follow the laws of the universe country. Hence, Luo Feng, you have to personally capture these 18 upper echelon members, and you have to punish them one by one. The punishment choices are 1. Death penalty, 2. 100 years in prison, 3. 10,000 years in prison, for 1 million years in prison. How the 18 upper echelon members are punished. It's all up to you, Luo Feng. You can decide to let them go to prison for 100 years, or you can directly sentence them to death. All the choices are in your own hands. During the entire mission, you have to maintain the virtual universe network synchronization. Everything you do has to be synchronized with the transmission. Only by understanding your entire process, as well as your punishment decisions, will you be able to judge your mission completion. 1. If the completion rate reaches 80%, you can proceed to the second part of the mission. 2. If the completion rate is lower than 80%, the entire mission will automatically end. At the end of the mail was the detailed information of the 18 upper echelon members. If you want more information, you can contact the intelligence department for help. Please remember, from start to finish, any killing, capture, punishment, you have to do it yourself. You are forbidden from sending any underlings. Your guards only have the responsibility to protect you. They don't have the responsibility to carry out the mission for you. Asterisk, 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 asterisk. Luo Feng sat in front of his laptop, frowning as he looked at the requirements of the first part of the mission, feeling troubled. This mission was different from any of Luo Feng's previous missions. Back then, the universe-level missions all had a specific requirement. For example, obtaining a blood river crystal or collecting certain items. Even the undying hunting mission before, the highest reward was 200k, but the completion requirement was very clear, very clear. However, this time, there wasn't a clear answer. Babata, what's up with this mission? Luo Feng frowned. It's weird. Babata's sharp voice resounded. I only want you to activate the virtual universe network synchronization and personally capture the 18 upper echelon members and punish them. How and how heavy the punishment is, it's all up to you. It's weird. And during the process of the mission, whether it's killing in all directions or not killing innocent people, there's no requirement. As long as you complete it, the virtual universe company will give you an evaluation completion rate. Luo Feng nodded. There was no accurate standard. Running the slave trade and many other illegal businesses, this Phoenix team sure has guts to do this. Luo Feng flipped through the introductions of the 18 upper echelon members, shaking his head. This mission is weird too, letting me carry out the punishment and giving me 4 choices. 1. Death penalty. 2. 100 years in jail. 3. 10,000 years in jail for 1 million years in jail. There's no specific requirements this mission. Luo Feng frowned. The first part had to be done carefully, reaching at least 80% completion. Otherwise, this was a huge reward of 2 million points, and the mission would be over. P.S. Chapter 2 has arrived. Continue writing the third chapter. Chapter 707. Sitting in front of his desk, he thought for a while. Luo Feng began contacting the intelligence department and quickly got through. Your Majesty, Luo Feng. A clear voice resounded from the screen. I've just received the highest point mission. Luo Feng said. Regarding the highest point mission's first segment, the Phoenix team's detailed information, including the 18 upper echelons residences, strength, and other details, send it all to me. How long will it take? It's already prepared. The clear voice said, send the information to your Majesty's mailbox now. HM. Luo Feng nodded. D. All of the extremely complicated information was gathered together and sent to Luo Feng's mailbox. The entire information was named Phoenix Squad. Luo Feng sat in front of his desk and lightly opened the information. He started to quickly read through it. The information provided by the intelligence department was much more detailed than the mission description. Seriously? Damn it. Luo Feng's expression was getting uglier and uglier. It can actually be this sick. On Earth, especially during the Great Nirvana Apocalypse, there were many things that crossed the line. However, I didn't expect the things on Earth compared to the things in the universe are not even worth mentioning. Rotten. It's really rotten. Countless warriors sacrificed their lives to fight against the other races, allowing the 1,008 universe countries to live in peace. Sacrifice for peace. The experts would guard the entire human domain. Under such a lifestyle, some people with powerful backgrounds, such as a domain lord's father who was the overlord of a low-level civilization country in the universe. Their sons trained to the star level and couldn't advance any further, nor did they have the right to inherit the family leader's position. Without a goal to work towards, they naturally began to rot. These people who had no goals but held a certain amount of power and money would do many unimaginable things without any goals. Eating people raw, eating babies, etc. were no longer fresh. They couldn't satisfy the needs of these rotten people. Using their unlimited imagination to torture slaves. Torturing slaves wouldn't be punished by the law. After torturing the slaves, they felt no sense of accomplishment. So they placed their sights on the universe citizens. If they wanted to torture, they would torture the universe citizens. Anyway, the desires of humans were endless, and the Phoenix team's job was to satisfy these people's needs, to satisfy their deformed desires. If my Luo family had such people, I'd kill one. If there were 10, I'd kill 10. To rot to such a degree, rather than live, I'd rather kill them. Luo Feng's eyes flashed with killing intent. However, the human territory is too big, and the number of humans is endless. There are elites, but there are also trash. The 18 members of the higher management were also known as the 18 directors of the Phoenix Group. The 18 directors jointly controlled the entire Fire Phoenix team. Every 100 years, one of the directors would be elected to be the temporary leader. Everyone took turns to be the leader. These 18 directors were respectively Clatch, Domain Lord Level 9, currently living on a slave planet called Base Planet. Kafun, Domain Lord Level 8, currently living on Lang Starfield's capital star, Lang Star. Benedict, Domain Lord Level 9, currently living on a tourist planet called Footy Planet. Pan Shi, Sector Lord Level 3, currently living in Fire Phoenix Group's Base Camp Bane Asteroid Cluster. 18. Luo Feng looked at the 18 names and their residences, ordering Babata, calculate their positions, and choose the shortest route. I don't want to take a detour. Yes. Babata swiftly calculated and said, it's already been calculated, Luo Feng. Your path, the shortest route, the order of the arrest and punishment list should be Clatch Kafun. Pan Shi, it's exactly the same as the information on the list. Luo Feng's eyes were filled with killing intent, laughing softly. Looks like the information department has thought very carefully about me. Let's go, we'll head to Base Planet. Originally heading towards the Ganwu Universe country's Black Dragon Mountain starfield. At this time, the Yin-Mo planet ship was slightly off course in the Dark Universe. In estimated 5 months and 8 days, we'll reach Base Planet. 5 months and 8 days later. Within the UNMO planet ship's control room, Luo Feng and Dylan stood quietly. The entire control room resounded with Babata's countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 travel. In just a moment, they had already traveled to the actual universe. Through the exterior simulation, they could see the distant stars. Base planet. Luo Feng's gaze landed on the nearest planet in the distant space. It was a white and dark red planet. The white part was the cloud layer, while the dark red was the main color of the planet. That was Luo Feng's first stop, base planet. Your Majesty, what do you plan to do? Dylan looked at Luo Feng. Dylan, remember, you don't interfere from start to finish. This mission has to be done by me personally. Luo Feng looked at the distant planet, his eyes gleaming coldly. As for what to do, I've already made my own decision. The so-called highest point mission. Back then, Luo Feng was confused and bewildered. However, after pondering for a while, Luo Feng more or less understood. Firstly, the Virtual Universe Company Primal Region members had all sorts of strange personalities. Geniuses were always special, bloodthirsty, cold, gentle, kind, crazy. There were countless of such geniuses in history. Different personalities would definitely be different when doing such missions. Those who were bloodthirsty would probably be sentenced to death. And some who were more calm, feeling that their sins weren't too big, they would be sentenced to jail. Different people would definitely choose different things. One couldn't just force everyone to choose death. Hence, these missions indeed didn't have a fixed answer. It all depended on one's style. And the mission details had already stated. The first round of the mission is the first step of the entire highest point mission. It's also the most important step. This step will decide whether or not you can continue on to the next round. At the same time, it's the most basic confirmation of the additional rewards after the fourth round. Hence, you have to seriously complete this round of the mission. Confirmation? Luo Feng believed that the main thing was to confirm one's style. There's no right or wrong choice. Everything depends on the upper echelon of the Virtual Universe Company, whether or not they admire your methods. If they do, they'll give you a high completion rate, even giving you a 100% completion rate reward. Luo Feng thought, hence the request to maintain the Virtual Universe Network from start to finish. The UNMO planet ship continuously flew towards base planet. The modified F-grade universe ship, it wasn't something the planet's security system could detect when it reached the atmosphere. So, Luo Feng and Dylan immediately flew out of the UNMO planet ship's cabin door. Simultaneously, Luo Feng kept the ship in his internal world. Babata, activate the Virtual Universe Network. Luo Feng ordered. Yes, it's already activated. From this moment onwards, everything Luo Feng did would be recorded. His actions would be observed and recorded. Dylan, let's go down. Luo Feng said. So. Two beams of light swiftly entered the atmosphere of base planet. With Dylan's undying abilities, he definitely wouldn't be discovered by the planet. Base planet's eastern half, the continuous mountain ranges were undulating. Some of the mountain peaks were already bare. Obviously, the high altitude made it hard for plants to survive, and the lower half of the mountain peaks were filled with red trees and plants. The entire mountain range was mainly red. There were many aboriginals walking with difficulty in the forest 10,000 m above sea level and the difficult mountain paths. It made it hard for these aboriginals to even gather the herbs from the forest. The rainbow firegrass was one of the most important medicinal herbs exported from base planet. Rearing slaves, selling rainbow firegrass. The slaves are the ones who gathered the rainbow firegrass. Every year, every small tribe had a hand in enough rainbow firegrass. The moment it wasn't enough, they would immediately bring away a large number of slaves to be sold as punishment. And under the slave organization's strong military might, under the high-tech surveillance of the entire world, there wasn't a single slave tribe that dared go against the slave organization. Dad, I can't walk anymore. Let's rest. Bear with it and quickly go find the rainbow firegrass. You've only found 92 today, less than yesterday. If this goes on, our whole family won't get much food. We'll starve. The slaves walked within the forest, carefully searching for the rainbow firegrass. The rainbow fire grass was naturally produced on base planet. It was extremely troublesome to find. If one didn't know, they wouldn't even be able to recognize it. After all, there were simply too many plants in the forest. At this time, two silhouettes descended directly from outer space. They were as fast as lightning and instantly landed on a mountain peak. At the peak of the mountain peak, one of them wore silver battle armor and silver battle boots. There was an armed guard screen on his arm, and he was coldly looking down at the endless land. Beside him stood a bald man in a black robe. His eyes were deep, and he looked like a god from the universe had descended on this planet. Those are the slaves of this planet. Luo Feng stood on a mountain peak and gazed into the distance. The aboriginals' appearances pores on their faces. Luo Feng could clearly see them. Dylan nodded. According to the information, these slaves were originally natives of this planet. After the Fire Phoenix team bought this planet, the identity of these natives became slaves. They have been slaves for generations, and they even have to use their talents to pick the rainbow fire grasses that are very difficult to find. Standing on a mountain peak, Luo Feng immediately used his spirit energy to scan the surrounding 1,000 kilometers area, clearly understanding the situation within that area. Within the 1,000 kilometers area, there are a total of 19 million aboriginals. Luo Feng gazed at the pitiful aboriginals, saying solemnly, only 12 of them are star travelers, the rest are student-level normal people. And within the 1,000 kilometers area, there are many surveillance devices. These aboriginals' every movement is being monitored. Slaves, Luo Feng said softly. Back then my Earth almost became a slave planet. Dylan couldn't help but look at Luo Feng. So, Luo Feng's body flashed. In an instant, he was a few hundred km away. Dylan's body too flashed, following closely a few hundred km away. P.S. 3 chapters completed. Chapter 708. Hundreds of kilometers away, on a plain, there was an endless stretch of wooden houses. These buildings were made of common wood. The countless wooden houses gathered together clearly belonged to a tribe. At a glance, one could tell that this tribe had more than 1 million households. It was a huge tribe. Look, there's a flying ship in the sky. The flying ship is here. The flying ship from the demonic celestial palace is here. Some of the aboriginals in the tribe looked up into the sky. Flying saucers tore through the sky one after another. These flying saucers were red in color, and there were fire phoenixes embroidered on them. Each flying saucer had a diameter of 100 meters. Dozens of flying saucers appeared in the sky above the tribe, causing the aboriginals to hide in their houses in fear. They only peeked out through the windows. Dozens of flying saucers slowly descended and landed on the plain. All the hatches opened. A person walked out of each flying saucer's hatch. Some were 6 meters tall, with sharp fangs and gaping mouths. Some were 2 meters tall, with a big beard, messy hair, and thick and powerful arms. These people were all wearing standard battle armor. On their arms, there were optical supercomputer screens that were outdated. It's the demonic gods. The demonic gods are here. Demonic gods. The aboriginals looked in horror at the grassroots warriors of the Fire Phoenix team. These warriors had all arrived on a flying saucer. All of them were wearing alloy battle armor and equipped with alloy weapons. They were also equipped with optical supercomputers. At least in the eyes of the aboriginals, these were invincible demonic gods. Even the strongest warriors of their tribe were not a match for these demonic gods. Where's the chief of the gigantic tree tribe? Dozens of Fire Phoenix team warriors looked coldly at the slave tribe. The leader, a muscular man with black scales and horns, bellowed, "Come and see me." Hurried footsteps could be heard. Hundreds of people ran over rapidly from afar. When they reached the Fire Phoenix team warriors, all of them knelt down with a rumble and buried their heads in the ground. Greetings, demonic gods. The hundreds of people knelt down and greeted respectfully. Gigantic tree tribe, the amount of rainbow fire grass you handed over last year was only 70% of the quota. You still lack 30%. So according to the rules, 30% of the gigantic tree tribe's population must be taken away by us. 30% of the population. That's 121,3682 clansmen. Have you prepared the name list? It's ready. Among the hundreds of people kneeling, an old man wearing a helmet said respectfully. Then hurry up, the horned demon godlike brawny man shouted. Yes, yes. The clan leader immediately began to make arrangements. The entire giant tree tribe was soon in an uproar, and all kinds of sobbing and wailing sounds reverberated throughout the tribe. Every year, if the quota of rainbow firegrass wasn't enough, they would have to hand over some of their clansmen. According to the contribution of each family, the tribe would send the clansmen with lower contributions to the demon god palace. Those with high contributions could live, or even live in the tribe for the rest of their lives. Those with low contributions were captured by the demon celestial palace and naturally became slaves. They were bought by some buyers from other planets. The fate of interstellar slaves was needless to say. Dad, brother, mama, all sorts of shrill cries and cries of reluctance to part resounded, but the mighty stream of people still gathered. Countless years of habit had made them understand that nothing could be resisted. They could only abide by the rules. The 121,3682 members of the giant tree tribe had all gathered together and were constantly walking towards the flying saucers of the demon gods. Each flying saucer had a diameter of 100 meters and a thickness of 30 meters. It was enough to stuff 30 to 40,000 slaves. This time, a total of 48 flying saucers came, enough to store more than one. 21 million slaves. These natives walked up the stairs into the cabins, and under the guidance of the robots and the flying saucers, they entered the cabins one by one, filling up the cabins. Each level could accommodate 10,000 people, and just 3 levels could accommodate 30 to 40,000 people. When those natives entered the cabin, they couldn't bear to look back at their tribe. Goodbye, family. Goodbye, tribe. Haha, I didn't expect your giant tree tribe to have a planetary state master. The horned demon god suddenly burst into laughter. With a whoosh, he turned into an afterimage and flew into the distance. He directly rushed towards a seemingly ordinary wooden house in the giant tree tribe. With a loud bang, the wooden house was directly smashed into pieces. There was a youth inside, angrily waving his blade at the horned demon god. The horned demon god reached out and crushed the blade. Then, he grabbed the youth's shoulder, and a powerful martial warrior origin power burst forth, suppressing the youth so much that he trembled. Swoosh! The horned demon god carried the youth like a little chick and quickly flew in front of the flying saucers. Longlu, the tribe leader, and some other tribe members were shocked. Longlu was the true prodigy of their giant tree tribe. His power improved very quickly, and he could float in midair and smash a small mountain with one punch. But in front of the demon celestial palace's demon god, he couldn't resist at all. The divine artifact that Longlu used was actually crushed by the demon god's bare hands. Look at this kid, planetary state level 3. Not bad. The horned demon god laughed. He didn't cultivate any secret technique, and yet he can reach planetary state level 3. Leader, if we nurture this kid, he will definitely reach the star state. Then, we can sell him for a lot of money. We can sell him for a lot of money. The other members of the Fire Phoenix team said, Demon God, let go of Longlu. We can use other tribe members to make up for it. The old tribe leader said anxiously. The horned demon god reached out his hand. Rumble. Under the attack of the invisible origin power, the old tribe leader instantly exploded, and his flesh and blood flew everywhere. Even some of the tribe members beside him suffered from this. The flying flesh and bones caused some of the tribe members to have holes in their bodies, or their chests were pierced, and they died on the spot. Silence. The tribe members were scared into silence. Your giant tree tribe should change a tribe leader. This old guy is too stupid. The horned demon god said coldly, the last time your tribe had a planetary state was 800 years ago. You guys probably forgot the rules. Remember, if a planetary state is born, the demon god palace must take it away. Anyone who disobeys will be executed by the tribe leader. This kid will reach the star state after some nurturing. His value is more than 1 million of your normal tribe members. And you still want to use them to trade? What an idiot. The other members of the Fire Phoenix team sneered. Without any guidance or resources, he could reach the planetary state. With a bit of guidance and pressure, he would reach the star state. Then, you would be sold for a lot more. And these student level 1, 2, and 3 normal people were like cabbages in the universe. Even if there were a million student level 9, it would only be able to match the selling price of a star state level 4 warrior. From this, one could see how cheap a normal person was. The basic members of the Fire Phoenix team were laughing amongst themselves. The aboriginals were all terrified by the demon god's laughter. Looking at the tribesmen entering the flying saucer one by one, looking at the dismembered corpses and blood, the aboriginals of the giant tree tribe felt even more uneasy, sad, and fearful. Rumble, rumble. 2 figures suddenly descended and landed on the ground. Silence. The basic members of the Fire Phoenix team, who were originally laughing, felt as though their throats were being strangled. They all stared with wide eyes at the 2 people who suddenly appeared. It wasn't just them. Even the aboriginals of the giant tree tribe and the aboriginals who were walking towards the cabin door all stared in fear at the 2 people. Of the 2, one was dressed entirely in silver armor, silver boots, black short hair, cold eyes. The other was dressed in a luxurious black long robe, his eyes cold like the abyss, a bald man. These 2, the formless pressure they gave off, made all the aboriginals of the giant tree tribe tremble, made the demon gods feel fear. The basic members of the Fire Phoenix team all knelt down, extremely respectful. They were the basic members of the universe. They had seen the world before. They were very clear that just the pressure alone was this terrifying. This was definitely an absolute warrior of the universe, at least a universe-level warrior, maybe even stronger. How could they defend against him? A group of Star Traveler level 9 warriors? 1 star level 3? Luo Feng coldly scanned the group of basic members. The aboriginals, however, could clearly judge. Just the mysterious black-haired man's silver armor was clearly more terrifying than the Fiend Celestial's armor. We are members of the Fire Phoenix team. We don't know why our Lord has come to Base C Planet. Our great Lord Cratch is temporarily staying on Base C Planet. If your Lord has any business, we can report it to him. The horn-scaled man's forehead was drenched in cold sweat, saying fearfully. All the aboriginals of the giant tree tribe were shocked at this scene. That powerful demon god was actually so weak and fearful. Then, this mysterious black-haired youth. Just what kind of great being was he? No need. I'll go find him myself. Luo Feng said coldly, simultaneously his spirit energy permeating the horn-scaled man to search his soul. With Luo Feng's control over the soul, he wasn't any weaker than a sector lord. To search a star level 3 warrior's soul was simply too easy. In an instant, Luo Feng obtained everything he wanted from this person's memories. He also understood how rotten these lackeys were. All of you. Luo Feng's gaze swept past the 10 basic level warriors, the Fire Phoenix team's warriors, the ones the Base C Planet slaves called the demon gods, were all filled with fear. I sentence you all to death. Luo Feng slightly extended his right hand. Xiao, 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 xiao. 10 beams of light shot out from Luo Feng's right hand, immediately landing on the 10 basic level warriors. They stared wide-eyed in fear. They didn't even have time to say anything. Rumble, 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 rumble. Strangely, the shattered pieces of flesh and blood didn't fly everywhere. Instead, they all landed on the spot where the warriors had been standing just a moment ago. The aboriginals of the giant tree tribe watched in fear. Casually killing a group of demon gods? What kind of power was that? God! Following a shout from the tribe, the others all knelt down and shouted in unison. God! 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 Millions of people knelt down and shouted, their voices shaking the skies. Luo Feng and Dylan watched this scene. When a strong warrior comes from the universe, he's called a god. Gods are really worthless. Luo Feng sighed within, however, in terms of true strength, Luo Feng was indeed comparable to an undying, hence the title of god. he was indeed worthy of it. P.S. Chapter 1 has arrived. Chapter 709. Millions of clansmen of the giant tree tribe had been slaves for generations and had been squeezed. It could be said that they had been instilled with the idea that fiend gods are invincible, and fiend gods are invincible since they were born. This had long become a kind of common sense. But now, the mysterious expert who should have come from the universe had wiped out dozens of fiend celestials with a flip of his hand. This made them tremble. God, this was God. It's God. The genius of the giant tree tribe, the #1 expert Long Lu, knelt there. Looking at the silver-armored black-haired man and the black-robed bald man, his blood boiled in his heart. This was the formidable strength that Long Lu pursued. A strong desire filled his heart. Long Lu directly knelt and cowed out. Then, he raised his head and said in a hoarse voice, Long Lu is willing to be God's servant. God, please accept Long Lu. Luo Feng turned to look, gazing at the messy-haired youth. A thought rose within him. The absolute genius of the clan, the #1 warrior. Back then on Earth, I too was an absolute genius. The #1 warrior, however I was luckier than him. I have the golden horned beast body and the Yun Mo planet's inheritance. That's why I can rise in the universe. This punk only lacks an opportunity. Luo Feng, Dylan communicated, don't bother with this punk. Since the Virtual Universe Company has made dealing with the Phoenix team your mission, then obviously they want to get rid of this small organization. After that, the Phoenix team will leave behind many slave planets, etc. The Virtual Universe Company doesn't care about dealing in slaves. Luo Feng nodded. The slave trade was after all viewed with disdain by some of the absolute beings. The Virtual Universe Company was clear too. Due to resource distribution, competition within races, etc., slaves were a very normal product of civilization. They wouldn't stop it. However, the moment these slave planets were dealt with, the Virtual Universe Company naturally wouldn't run them anymore. Instead, they would turn these slave planets into normal life planets. Under the management of the Virtual Universe Company, these slave planets will enter the normal path of development. Talented punks like Long Lu will also be nurtured. Dylan said, yes. Luo Feng nodded and glanced at Dragon Lu. Let's see how this kid does it himself. Let's go. Luo Feng immediately became a beam of light. Whoosh! Dylan hurriedly followed. The two of them disappeared from the sight of the millions of people of the giant tree tribe, leaving the people of the giant tree tribe in a daze. What do we do now? What do we do now? With so many demon gods dead, the demon celestial palace will definitely be furious. We're in big trouble. Maybe the demon god palace will vent their anger on us. The millions of clansmen were in an uproar. Generations of oppression had caused them to subconsciously view the demon god palace as the strongest existence. Divinity didn't accept me. Divinity. Long Lu knelt there, somewhat at a loss. But when he saw the dismembered corpses of the Fire Phoenix team's warriors, he couldn't help but shudder. With how tyrannical demonic celestial palace is, with so many demonic gods dead, they will definitely vent their anger on our giant tree tribe. Our entire tribe might be killed. What should we do? What should we do? Cold sweat appeared on Long Lu's forehead. Little punk, demon god palace will be destroyed. Base planet will have the same chance to develop as the other life planets. Wait for the Virtual Universe Company's people to arrive. A voice resounded in Long Lu's mind. It's the voice of God. Long Lu's eyes gleamed. His entire being seemed to be filled with energy, following which he began to suspect. The Virtual Universe Company's people will come to our planet? What was the Virtual Universe Company? Don't tell me this Virtual Universe Company can destroy the invincible Demon God Palace? If the 18 directors of the Fire Phoenix group heard this, they would probably tremble in fear. Demon God Palace. The scariest place on the entire base planet, the place that caused countless slave tribes to fear, was actually the base-level elite army that the Phoenix team had stationed here. It was mainly made up of 1 universe-level warrior, 50 star levels, and 5,000 star traveler level 9 stages. This was why they had such a powerful force. The main reason they had such a powerful force was mainly because base planet's rainbow firegrass was indeed very expensive. Base Planet was also one of the core planets of the Fire Phoenix group amongst the surrounding hundreds of slave planets. Hence, they had a universe-level stationed here. A universe-level warrior in a normal galaxy could already be considered a tyrant. However, one of the 18 directors of the Fire Phoenix group, Cratch, brought his guard team to Base Planet. He treated Base Planet as a place to relax, staying in the Demon God Palace, along with the beautiful female and male servants from the surrounding slave planets. Cratch was indeed living a carefree life. The 18 directors all had different temperaments. Cratch loved to abuse his servants and enjoy himself. Hence, he would often go to one of the slave planets to stay for a period of time. For example, the strongest of the 18 directors, Pan Shi, was already a Sector Lord Level 3. However, he was extremely disciplined. Other than occasionally venting, he spent most of his time in the Bane Small Planet Cluster. That deathly silent small planet cluster where normal humans couldn't even survive was where Pan Shi trained. Do. An ear-piercing alarm resounded within the Demon God Palace. Built on top of a majestic mountain peak that occupied an area of 10 kilometers, the entire palace was in chaos. What's going on? The leader of Base Planet was a man covered in green fur, with a pair of dark green eyes. He looked like a wolf standing on its hind legs. He was the manager of Base Planet, also the highest commander of the surrounding hundreds of slave planets, Devourer, a universe level 7 warrior. The chairman is in our Demon God Palace. There's actually an alarm if the chairman gets angry. Devourer was so scared he broke out in cold sweat. Simultaneously, the AI on his arm automatically connected to the planet's defense control center. Through the AI, Devourer clearly saw everything that had happened. Those two mysterious people, a silver-armored youth and a black-robed bald man, with a flip of their hands, they had destroyed a small team under him. Such power meant they were at least universe level. They actually entered the planet without alerting the planet's defense system. These two, Devourer was shocked, rushing towards the inner palace to meet the great Chairman Cratch. Sir Chairman. Devourer rushed straight into the inner palace. Rumble, silhouettes swiftly appeared in the surroundings of the Demon God Palace, all of them dressed in blood-colored armor. Powerful auras emanated from them. These people were all Universe Level 9, looking coldly at Mocha. Devourer was so scared he could only stop, not daring to barge in. Devourer, what are you doing? One of the vice-captains of the guards, a domain Lord Level 5 warrior, looked coldly at Devourer. Sir, Devourer said fearfully, two mysterious warriors have suddenly arrived on our base planet. The planet's defense system didn't even detect them, and now one of my teams has been destroyed. They dare offend the Fire Phoenix team. There's no other power in the Lang starfield that dares to offend the Fire Phoenix team. The vice-captain said coldly, just send all the information to the chairman through the AI. There's no need to disturb him. Yes, Devourer said respectfully. The Fire Phoenix team had a strict hierarchy. The 18 directors were obviously high above, as a power with Sector Lord warriors. Even though they weren't the top 10 in the entire Lang starfield, they were still within the top 50. This was just their strength on the surface, to be able to rely on slave trading and other dark methods to become such an organization. The backing behind the Fire Phoenix team was definitely not small, hence the vice-captain dared to say that no other power in the Lang starfield would dare offend them. It was a pity. This time, it was the Virtual Universe Company's people who acted. Rumble. In that instant, a violent silhouette rushed out from within the palace. A 3M tall man with a tiger's back and a bear's waist. His face was covered in a black beard, his eyes were purple, and his powerful aura emanated. Such a boorish man was one of the 18 directors of the Fire Phoenix team, Cratch. At this time, Cratch was panicking as he shouted, "Everyone get into your own universe ships and leave Base Planet." Yes, Sir Director. Even though they were suspicious, the guards all obeyed. Immediately, so. Over 100 silhouettes broke through space and flew out of the palace. Almost everyone took out a C-grade universe ship from their storage rings. Director Cratch, too, took out a similar ship. Obviously, he wanted to pass it off as the real one, making it hard for the enemies to tell which ship he was in. Still thinking of fleeing? A cold voice resounded. Immediately, countless gold lights lit up in the air above the palace. These lights were formed from many little golden swords. The countless golden swords swept across the air, and the C-grade universe ships were instantly sliced into pieces. They all fell from mid-air, almost like rain. Over 100 universe ships smashed into the palace, causing the roof and decorations to shatter and fly everywhere. Director Cratch and his guards looked at this scene in shock, after which they looked into the distance in the darkness of the night. Demon God Palace and Giant Tree Tribe were on opposite sides of the planet. Giant Tree Tribe was in the day. Here it was night. Director Cratch and his guards could clearly see the two silhouettes standing in mid-air. One was a silver-armored youth. The other was a black-robed bald man. Greetings, Undying. Director Cratch immediately knelt down in mid-air, speaking with extreme fear. Hearing the director say that, immediately his guards were filled with fear. Almost reflexively, they all knelt down. Greetings, Undying. Their voices resounded in the air above Demon God Palace. The true master of the palace, the universe-level warrior Emo-cha, and his subordinates all looked up at this scene, looking at the high and mighty director Cratch kneeling there trembling. They were all stunned. Undying? Oh my God. Greetings, Undying. Emo-cha knelt down. The others followed suit. In the distance in mid-air, Luo Feng and Dylan were conversing. This punk has good eyesight to actually be able to tell I'm an Undying. Dylan smiled. P.S. Chapter 2 here. Chapter 7:10. Croc knelt in mid-air, after which he looked up at the two before him, saying respectfully, Lords, I, Croc, am one of the board members of the Fire Phoenix team. I own 5% of the team's assets. I'm willing to give it all to the two lords. Also, my team is related to one of the princes of the Ganwu Universe country's royal family. You mean the seventh prince? Luo Feng gazed at him. Croc was stunned. The Ganwu Universe country leader had many princes. With the flow of time, many had died of old age. Very few had become Undyings, of which the seventh prince was one of the princes who became an Undying. The Fire Phoenix team and the seventh prince were indeed related. This secret, he actually knows about it. Croc was shocked within. He didn't know that Luo Feng had already obtained incomparably detailed information from the Virtual Universe Company's intelligence department. He was very clear on the backing of the Fire Phoenix team. However, in the entire Ganwu Universe country, as one of the 4 tycoons of the Ganwu department, only the Ganwu Universe country leader could make Luo Feng feel fear. He didn't care about the others. I wonder why the two of you have come to Beth Planet. I, Croc, will definitely do my best to assist. Croc said respectfully. To judge you, Luo Feng said. Croc's expression changed. He smiled. The two lords must be joking. I've never met the two of you before, nor have we ever had any enmity. The other members of the guard team were all shocked. The Lord Croc they were protecting was definitely one of the upper echelons of the Chuilang Starfield. He even had connections with some of the core nobles of the Ganwu Universe country, working for them. Croc was definitely a powerful figure. One cold snort would probably cause countless planets to tremble in fear. One order, countless heads would fall. This was Croc's power. Just the number of slaves he controlled was in the trillions. The number of slave planets was in the tens of thousands. His power was overwhelming, even stronger than the emperors of the low-level civilizations in the universe. However, at this moment, they were kneeling in fear. In the air above the Demon Palace, Luo Feng said coldly, 3 domain lord levels, 101 universe levels, 49 star levels, close to 5,000 star traveler levels. All the kneeling members of the Fire Phoenix team were stunned. This number was obviously the Fire Phoenix team's power on Beth Planet, of which there were 3 domain lord levels and 100 universe levels. Croc, the leader and vice leader of the guard team, the 100 guards. Rumble. Luo Feng's eyes gleamed fiercely. Formless spirit energy pierced into the minds of the 49 star levels below, searching their souls. Before in the giant tree tribe, Luo Feng had already killed a star-level warrior. These 50-star-level warriors were the leaders of the military forces stationed on base planet. After the soul search, Luo Feng swiftly understood the situation of the 49 star levels and their 100 subordinates. He also understood their leader Mo Cha air situation. Amita! Luo Feng roared, his voice resounding throughout the entire demon god palace. Immediately, amongst the kneeling Phoenix team, one of the star-level ladies raised her head suspiciously. Del, a planetary state level 9 warrior, looked up. Fane, a planetary state level 9 warrior, looked up in confusion. Clifford, they were both star, traveler level 9 basic level warriors. Dope, one of the universe level 9 members kneeling in mid-air, looked up curiously. 5 names. The silver-armored man, standing high above, shouted out these 5 names. I declare, the 5 of you are not guilty. Luo Feng's gaze swept across the thousands of silhouettes. Whether it was the universe-level warriors kneeling in mid-air or the many-star traveler level 9s below, they were all terrified. The rest, Luo Feng smiled, his eyes gleaming with bloodthirst, are all sentenced to death. I'll do it personally. The moment Luo Feng's voice came out, the thousands of people in Demon God Palace were all filled with fear, many of them shouting in fear. Quickly flee. Scatter and flee. Flee. No one thought of resisting. All of them chose to flee. And in midair, Luo Feng said softly, Blade World. The dark golden long rod on his back immediately shot out tens of thousands of golden lights. Countless golden little blades intertwined with large amounts of origin laws. In an instant, the land and skies within a 100 kilometers radius changed, immediately becoming a vast blade world. Countless blade energy revolved. Under the pressure of the blade world, no one could escape. The 5 innocent were immediately thrown out by Luo Feng's blade energy. Dylan, too, was outside the blade world. Within the entire blade world, other than Luo Feng the Enforcer, the rest were all sentenced to death by Luo Feng. Lord, 2 lords, spare me. Cratch had nowhere to run. He shouted in fear. Luo Feng, however, became a beam of light, unleashing the claw technique taught by Bubula teacher, 3000 space. In an instant, within the vast blade world, Luo Feng began to chase and kill his opponents. His sharp claws pierced through one's skull. Red and white splattered everywhere. His claws pierced through one's chest, after which he swiped upwards, tearing his head apart along with his neck. With a fierce slap, his head exploded like a watermelon. Hua! With a wave of his hand, he split another into 2. Fresh blood flowed. The broken armors fell to the ground dyed red. That demon god palace, under Luo Feng's occasional energy attacks, was already riddled with holes. Parts of the palace even collapsed. Of those corpses, some had natural scales on their bodies, some had thick body hair. However, they all died in different ways. The light ones died explosively from having their heads pierced through. The heavy ones were hit by over 100 claws and howled in pain for a long time before dying. The rest of the corpses were split in half. The corpses were directly smashed, their limbs were broken, their organs were scattered all over the ground. This was a blood-red world. Fresh blood had dyed the ground red. This is a madman, a true madman, a bloodthirsty madman. Cratch's expression was pale, looking at the scene in fear. He wanted to escape. However, he couldn't break through the blade world's pressure. Death. Thousands of people had died. It had only been 5 minutes. On average, Luo Feng had killed over 10 people per second, and this was only a portion of them that had suffered over 100 claw attacks. Silence. Thousands of people within the blade world had died. Only Cratch was left alive. Cratch, you're the only one left. With a schwa, a silhouette appeared before Cratch. It was Luo Feng. Croc looked at the silver-armored youth in front of him in fear. Although this youth was covered in blood after killing so many people, his expression was still as cold as ever. Even his eyes were as cold as ever. However, There was a trace of bloodthirsty madness in his eyes. It was obvious that this slaughter had triggered the bloodthirst in his bones. How satisfying! Luo Feng felt his soul groan. Killing, it's really intoxicating. Howl. Within the internal world, the golden-horned beast raised its head and howled. Humans were born with good natures. However, the golden-horned beast was naturally savage and bloodthirsty, causing Luo Feng to have an irrepressible desire to kill within. Cratch was fearful and uneasy. Lord, you're a member of the Virtual Universe Company. I'm just a small fry. In your eyes, I'm just an ant. Whether to kill or not is entirely up to you. Cratch and the guards under him had already connected to the Virtual Universe Network when they failed to escape. However, they were shocked to find that none of them could connect to the Virtual Universe Network, and only the Virtual Universe Company had the authority to do so. Hence, Cratch guessed that the person before him was a member of the Virtual Universe Company. The changed Luo Feng, Cratch naturally didn't expect the person before him to be the genius Luo Feng. You guessed it was the Virtual Universe Company? Luo Feng looked at him. Lord, spare my life. I'll do anything you want me to do. Cratch said, anything you want? Then just go and die. Luo Feng fiercely waved his right hand. It formed a claw and slashed down fiercely from above. Cratch struggled with all his might before he died, still trying to slash the genetic energy blade in his hand. However, with Luo Feng's space and gold law claw, the sharp claw slapped the blade, causing it to smash into Cratch's head instead. Pung! Cratch's entire body was immediately smashed into pieces, flesh and blood. Even his bones were completely shattered. The blade energy within the blade world immediately destroyed his life core. It had ended. Luo Feng stood within the vast blade energy world, looking at the broken demon god palace with blood flowing like a river. Looking at the various broken corpses, he felt that it was an incredibly beautiful scene. It's a feast for the eyes. At the same time, an intense bloodthirst arose within him. He wanted to continue killing. The golden-horned beast bloodline's influence on my soul has long penetrated deep into my bones. Luo Feng shook his head. Rumble. The blade energy world crumbled. Countless gold lights flew back into the dark golden long rod on Luo Feng's back. Luo Feng's silhouette flashed and appeared beside Dylan. You sure enjoyed killing. Dylan looked at Luo Feng. I feel that you, compared to my teacher, Bloodthirsty Emperor, are more suited to the name Bloodthirsty. Luo Feng laughed. His third senior, Bloodthirsty Emperor, was famed for his bloodthirst and killing. However, Luo Feng's killing was different, whether it was the genius battle elimination back then in the virtual universe or in reality. Luo Feng's killing, he maintained a cold mental state, almost as though killing was as normal to him as eating and drinking. After all, most humans didn't like to kill, it was very hard for them to do what Luo Feng did. Wait, very soon, the people from a virtual universe company will arrive and take over this base C planet. Luo Feng said. HM, Dylan nodded. Luo Feng looked down at the distant 5 survivors. These were the 5 that Luo Feng deemed innocent. At this time, they were looking in fear at the nightmare scene of blood flowing like a river in Demon God Palace. They looked up at Luo Feng, almost as though they couldn't imagine how terrifying this silver-armored youth was when he went crazy. About half an hour later, a large universe ship arrived at Base C Planet. It was the members from a virtual universe company who came to take over Base C Planet. Luo Feng handed the 5 survivors over to the virtual universe company, after which they left. So, the Yun Mo planet ship was advancing in the dark universe. Luo Feng, from start to finish, you've always been in sync with the Virtual Universe Network. The Virtual Universe Company has clearly seen your massacre. Dylan shook his head. I didn't expect that you wouldn't kill them with your sword energy, but with your own hands. Don't you feel uncomfortable? It's more satisfying to kill them with my own hands. Luo Feng shook his head. If the Virtual Universe Company sees it, then so be it. As long as you keep to your heart when doing things, it's fine. Grandmaster probably admires you because of this. Dylan nodded with a smile. In the last 3 days of the month, if your monthly votes do not expire, everyone should throw your monthly votes at Tomato. We need to ensure that the monthly votes are in first place. Chapter 711. Luo Feng began his killing spree. On the Chuilang star field's capital planet, Chuilang Planet, Luo Feng killed Ka Fun and his 103 guards, not leaving a single one alive. On the same day, Luo Feng reached Fu Di Planet. Fu Di Planet had almost become Benedict's private planet. He had hundreds of thousands of servants and tens of thousands of guards. His power and influence was overwhelming. Benedict was living freely in his palace. On the bloody massacre on Fu Di Planet, Luo Feng killed a total of 36,237 people, shocking countless people. Benedict himself was sliced by Luo Feng's ghost blade over 10,000 times before he died. On the fourth day, Luo Feng arrived at Yi Planet, which is also the hometown of one of the 18 board members, Luka. He killed 102 of Luka's 103 guards, and one of them was declared innocent by Luo Feng. On the 26th day, it was also Luo Feng's most frenzied killing spree in the Fire Phoenix Team incident. This time, he arrived at Water Drop Planet, a planet completely controlled by Li. This Water Drop Planet was heavily guarded. It was a demon's den, a hellish place. At the same time, it was also a place where many of the powerful and influential people of the Chuilang star field enjoyed themselves. On this planet, all sorts of rotten things could be seen, causing countless people to fall in love. This battle, Luo Feng killed Li and his subordinates, a total of over 100,000 people. Most of them were the powerful people that came in ships and slaughtered in large batches. He also madly slaughtered the guards. It caused the entire Water Drop Planet to become a sea of blood. Even the Virtual Universe Company personnel that went there were shocked. In this battle, Luo Feng killed a total of 1.02 million people. Under the Ghost Blade, those he killed were all people he deemed worthy. Of the 18 board members, Luo Feng had already killed 16 of them. Weifeng Planet, a planet with howling winds all year round. The normal citizens of the planet were holed up within their cities. In the northwest of the planet, there was a luxurious palace that took up over 100 kilometers. Within the palace, there were over 10,000 guards and tens of thousands of servants. It was a truly free and unfettered place on Weifeng Planet. Why do you want to kill me? Why? Within the palace where blood flowed like a river, the 17th board member Paramander's eyes were bloodshot as he stared at Luo Feng. You are guilty. Luo Feng held the blood-dripping ghost blade and stood in front of Paramander. That invisible smell of blood was frightening and frightening. During this period of time, Luo Feng's killing spree had indeed reached a crazy level, and he himself didn't even try to suppress it. Luo Feng wanted to clearly see just how strong his thirst for blood was, hence he didn't use the fastest killing spirit weapon, but instead used the ghost blade to kill them one by one. Originally, he had to use both hands, but there were too many of them, so the efficiency of using both hands was obviously low. That was why he chose to use a saber. I'm guilty. Even if you're a member of the Virtual Universe Company, you can't slander me. I, Paramander, grew up on planet Weifeng. I was lonely and had no one to rely on. I worked hard to grow up. Even when I joined the Phoenix team, I never asked about anything. Li was in charge of the business, and Pan, she was in charge of the Fire Phoenix Group's fate. I've never done those dark deals. Why do you say I'm guilty? Why? Paramander roared. The Phoenix team has just been built. Danger lurks everywhere. Luo Feng said indifferently, back when the 18 domain lords fought everywhere to get more market share, to make those powerful people not dare to mess with you. In a short 3 months, you killed 621 nobles, powerful people, and 32,193 people under them. Paramander was shocked. Those who obstruct the Phoenix team's rise, kill them all. And even though you've never been in charge of the Phoenix team's dark deals, you've allowed it, and every year you get large amounts of money. Luo Feng said coldly, even though you've never been in charge, you don't have the right to say you're not involved. Paramander swallowed his saliva. Even though you aren't like those corrupted people, however, people like you who rely on this business to earn limitless money deserve to die. Luo Feng said coldly, I'm just using the Fire Phoenix team as a ladder to get more resources for my cultivation. Paramander yelled. Chi! The blade flashed. Paramander stared wide-eyed, after which his entire body was split in two, his organs splashing all over the ground. Humph. Luo Feng flipped the ghost blade in his hand and sheathed it, turning to leave. Dark Universe. The Yun Mo planet ship was flying. Within the control room, Luo Feng and Dylan sat there, tasting wine. You just finished killing, yet you're still drinking red wine. Dylan shook his head. Luo Feng held the glass. The red wine in the glass reflected a dazzling light under the light. Luo Feng said softly, Drinking wine after killing feels good. You've killed enough. Even I feel emotional. Dylan shook his head. If I hadn't followed my teacher and gotten used to his bloody slaughter, I'm afraid I wouldn't be able to get used to your unbridled slaughter. I kill those who deserve to be killed. I don't kill those who don't. Luo Feng said. Like the first time on Base Planet, Clive and his guards detailed information. The Virtual Universe Company's intelligence department had provided him with it. As for the large amounts of Star Traveler Level 9 warriors of the Demon God Palace, Luo Feng used his soul-searching technique on the 49 leaders to find out about their situations. Luo Feng wouldn't kill those who didn't deserve to be killed. Those who deserve to be killed, naturally they would all be killed. How do you judge who deserves to be killed and who doesn't? Dylan asked with interest. Are you sure your judgment is correct? This question could be asked to 100 people. There would probably be 100 different answers. Dylan, do you think I've killed someone I shouldn't have? Luo Feng looked at Dylan. Without a reason, I won't kill. There has to be a reason for it. Dylan laughed as he heard it. Dylan didn't know how others thought of him, but he himself was quite satisfied as he heard it, because he was an undying and had fought in the outer region battlefields before. He was very clear. The war between the races was very brutal. If I'm stronger than you, I can destroy you. If I'm stronger than you, I can steal from you. There was no mercy, no retreat. If humanity took a step back, their strength would weaken. The other races would take a step forward and become stronger. This way, in the long run, it would cause humanity's strength to drop. Their territories would shrink, hence they couldn't be merciful. The bloody and terrifying war between the races would cause many who weren't resolute enough to go crazy and break down mentally. Moreover, this was a common phenomenon. For those who thought that they loved to kill, killing 1 or 100 people was nothing. However, if they really killed tens of thousands, millions, or even hundreds of millions of lives, especially when there were all kinds of illusions on the battlefield, it would be easier to magnify their emotions and cause their minds to collapse. As a result, there were indeed many experts who died. Understanding why you should kill is very important. Dylan nodded. Even if your reason is extreme, you have to have a reason in your heart and persevere. If you don't have any perseverance when you go to the outer region battlefields in the future, you'll be affected by the illusions, magnifying your emotions. Killing countless will make you doubt yourself. I understand. Luo Feng smiled and nodded. The wars on Earth would cause many warriors to develop mental illnesses, breaking down mentally, much less the outer region battlefields. 2 days later, the Yun Mo planet ship pierced through the universe, arriving at the Bane small planet group. Within the ship's control room, Luo Feng and Dylan looked at the distant space. The small planet group ahead was a little far away. It was almost like looking at a bunch of scattered rocks. Pan, she. Luo Feng said softly. The Phoenix team's true soul, spiritual leader, even gaining the 7th prince's recognition. Compared to Pan Shi, the other 17 board members are trash. HM, Dylan nodded. The two looked at Pan Shi's detailed information. They couldn't help but respect him. This person's experiences were very legendary. Pan Shi, a slave. However, the day before he was implanted with the biochip, he rebelled and took over a life planet. After which he led a large group of his underlings to sit in a universe ship and escape from the slave planet. This caused the slave traders and military forces to come after him, to come to naught. After escaping from the slave planet, Pan Shi first scattered his underlings, quietly registering himself as a universe citizen in the Chui Lang star field. He lived in seclusion on a normal life planet in the Chui Lang star field, training for a few hundred years. When he finally appeared again, he was already a universe-level warrior. With his universe-level power, he began to take revenge on the slave trader from back then. That slave trader had some power, however, he was still destroyed by Pan Shi. After that, Pan Shi took control of the slave trader's power and became the new slave trader. Using the resources he had, his strength swiftly rose, even reaching the domain lord level. At this time, he swiftly contacted the other 17 strong domain lords and formed an alliance. With the 18 of them working together, naturally they could occupy a bigger market. The targets he chose were all carefully considered. Some had backgrounds, some were valiant in battle, some were well known for their schemes. All in all, they were all ambitious people. With the Phoenix team as support, Pan Shi obtained large amounts of resources, made friends with the nobles, and trained seriously. He bought some secret techniques and cultivated, reaching level 3 sector lord alone. Through his connections with nobles, he met the 7th prince and obtained his support. His connections were even more shocking. He was Pan Shi, a person who rose from slave background to become a sector lord level 3. One had to know that in the entire Chui Lang star field, there were probably only a few dozen sector lords, and most of them had great teachers to guide them, or even undyings. Relying on himself to train hard to reach sector lord level 3 was unbelievable. As the spiritual leader of the Phoenix team, he was recognized as the boss. Pan Shi, however, rarely enjoyed himself, instead choosing to train in some desolate places, like in the Bane asteroid group. This Pan Shi, Dylan nodded and smiled. I admire him. I admire him too. Luo Feng nodded and exclaimed, from being a slave with nothing, to now forcefully building up such a foundation to become a sector lord, it's indeed impressive. And to train in a place like the asteroid group, perseverance, ambition, methods, he has everything. Yes. Dylan shook his head. It's just that the way he does things is too unscrupulous. He has no bottom line, vicious and cruel, causing trillions of humans to suffer because of him. The Phoenix team controls over 10,000 slave planets. Many of the universe citizens live peacefully, all because of him. Trillions of them have been captured and sold by the Phoenix team. His methods are so dark, it's already made the virtual universe company act against him. Luo Feng shook his head within. Let's go judge Pan Shi, Luo Feng said. So, the Yun Mo planet ship flew straight into the Bane asteroid group. Chapter 712. The Bane asteroid group was a group of celestial bodies that revolved around a star. It was formed from a total of 209 asteroids, the smallest with a diameter of 1.2 kilometers and the largest being 898 kilometers. The Yun Mo planet ship was currently flying within the asteroid group. We are currently inspecting the asteroids. They have all been modified. Babata's voice resounded within the ship's control room, filled with many technological weapons. The entire Bane asteroid group can be said to be a mechanical fortress. Even if the Chui Lang Empire's interstellar fleet came, they would be destroyed. They sure are cautious. Luo Feng looked at the distant asteroids. If they weren't cautious, how would they end up like this today? Dylan smiled indifferently. I have a feeling that this time, it won't be as easy as the previous 17 times. Luo Feng frowned. The Yun Mo planet ship continued to fly, inspecting the asteroids. We've already detected signs of life. Babata said, the star map indicates the Bane asteroid groups 82. Then let's head over. Luo Feng's eyes gleamed as he ordered. That was the Bane asteroid group. In terms of diameter, it was the 3rd largest asteroid. It looked normal from the outside. However, when the Yun Mo planet ship neared it, it suddenly trembled. Rumble, rumble, rumble. 3 beams of light shot out, suddenly piercing through space and heading towards a Yun Mo planet ship. The Yun Mo planet ship, however, only moved as fast as lightning, allowing one of the beams to brush past. The energy barrier on the surface of the ship slightly rippled, without any damage. Rumble. The Yun Mo planet ship two shot out a beam of light, striking the distant asteroid. Pung! This asteroid, with a diameter of over 600 kilometers, immediately exploded, countless pieces flying in all directions, revealing a dark purple sword-shaped universe ship. E9 grade universe ship? Luo Feng smiled, ordering Babata destroy it. Yes, Babata replied excitedly. Immediately, the Yun Mo planet ship, this blood-colored triangular ship, immediately accelerated, becoming a blood-colored beam of light and rushing towards the dark purple sword-shaped universe ship. Whether it was the materials, energy system, or the internal movement system, etc., the UNMO planet ship, after the virtual universe company's modifications, definitely surpassed its opponent. Rumble! Rumble! The dark purple sword-shaped spaceship panicked. After shooting out two beams of light, it immediately accelerated to escape. But in terms of acceleration, comparing the E9 grade alloy ship to the UNMO planet ship, it was like comparing a tractor to a Ferrari. Wah! It was as fast as lightning. There was no time to dodge. The UNMO planet ship crashed into the dark purple sword-shaped ship. The UNMO planet ship's sharp edge was even scarier than when Hu Yinbo was piloting it. It was like a sharp saber cutting through a piece of wood. Chi! After a slight pause, the dark purple spaceship was cut apart. Voila! The dark purple sword-shaped spaceship was cut in half. The alloy at the cut point was twisted, and the energy transmission system burst out with a large amount of energy. Who are you? A figure flew out from the broken ship, floating in the wreckage of the ship, staring at the Yun Mo planet ship. Hua! The hatch of the Yun Mo planet ship opened. Luo Feng and Dylan flew out from within. Luo Feng and Dylan were in space, looking at the man before them. This was a skinny man. His eyes were like a wild wolf, filled with an aggressive aura. However, after seeing Luo Feng and Dylan appear, this aggressive skinny man immediately felt despair. Undying. It's actually an undying that came to capture me. Pan, she said in despair, following which his eyes were filled with unwillingness. He stared at Luo Feng and Dylan. I don't think I've offended the two of you. And my location in the Bane asteroid group is a top secret. How do the two of you know? What enmity do I have with the two of you? Top secret? Luo Feng smiled. To the Virtual Universe Company, there was no such thing as a top secret. Just by checking the space coordinates that Pan Shi frequently used in the Virtual Universe Network, they would be able to confirm his location. Pan Shi, I've received orders from the Virtual Universe Company to judge your Phoenix team. Luo Feng's voice was resounding. Using spirit energy as a medium, it spread throughout the cold space. The other 17 board members are all dead. Only you are left. Virtual Universe Company? Pan Shi stared wide-eyed in shock. My God. Before, when he saw Luo Feng and Dylan, he actually had many thoughts of escaping. His expression of despair before was just an act. He wasn't truly in despair. However, the moment he heard the name Virtual Universe Company, he felt completely helpless. That was an absolute power that made many universe countries submit to it. No wonder I didn't receive any news of the 17 board members of my Phoenix team being killed. So it was the Virtual Universe Company who arranged it. Pan Shi stared at the two of them and laughed. The high and mighty Virtual Universe Company. Since when did they care about a small fry like me? Especially dealing with a small fry like me. Cut the bullshit. Luo Feng said coldly. The true leader of the Phoenix team is you. You're responsible for everything the team has done. I officially announce your death sentence. I'll do it personally. Do it personally? Domain Lord Punk, don't tell me you want to kill me personally. Or let the undying beside you suppress me first, making me unable to resist before you make a move? Pan Shi laughed coldly with disdain. He originally planned to use the name of the Seventh Prince. However, upon hearing the Virtual Universe Company's name, Pan Shi knew he had to find a way to survive. I'll do it personally. Luo Feng stared at Pan Shi. The undying definitely won't interfere. Pan Shi's eyes gleamed. Prepare to die. Luo Feng carried the dark golden long rod on his back. Immediately, countless gold lights shot out from his back and spread out. An endless, vast blade energy world was formed, enveloping the surrounding 100 kilometers area. Under the control of his powerful spirit energy, the blade world's pressure wasn't any weaker than a Sector Lord's world projection. At the same time, Luo Feng wielded the blood shadow blade and immediately became a blur as he rushed at Pan Shi. Good on you, what an idiot. Using a blade to fight me in close combat? My chances here. As long as I capture this arrogant punk alive, that Undying won't be able to retaliate, and I'll have hope of escaping. Pan Shi's eyes gleamed coldly. Simultaneously, he unleashed his world projection. Rumble. The blade world and world projection began to clash. Illusionary 7 blades. Burial. Luo Feng immediately unleashed the strongest move of his current blade technique, Burial, which was infused with the concept of the first claw. Rumble. Rumble. Both of them used sabers, and as the two worlds collided, their sabers clashed together. Rumble. An unparalleled force transmitted over. Luo Feng had no way to resist at all. His right hand was immediately shattered with a rumble. His bones shattered and the blood shadow blade in his hand was thrown away. Simultaneously, the mysterious armor and the cloud contact vine that formed the cloud contact armor on his skin immediately blocked the force of the attack. Luo Feng's entire body was flung away. Haha, you still want to escape? Pan Shi's expression was furious. He waved his hand fiercely. Wah! Countless rainbow vines flew out from his hand. In an instant, the surrounding 1 kilometer area was filled with all sorts of vines. These tough vines rushed at Luo Feng, attempting to wrap him up. Sector Lord Level 9, Iron Vinegrass. Luo Feng's expression changed. Iron Vinegrass, a very normal plant life form. If the cloud contact vine was considered a rare plant life form, then the iron vinegrass was a common product. It was extremely cheap, and of the same level, the iron vinegrass was much weaker than other plant life forms. At most, it was slightly stronger than humans of the same level. Normal iron vinegrass could be nurtured to the star level 9, and that was the limit. It was rare to nurture it to the universe level. To nurture it to the domain lord level, that was purely luck. If it was nurtured to the sector Lord Level 9, this was simply a miracle. In the distance, Dylan frowned even more. Cloud Contact Vine. The heavily injured Luo Feng in space looked at the countless vines rushing over. He immediately roared. Immediately, vines shot out from his shoulders and waist. There were a total of 216 green vines. Every one of them instantly became extremely long. The thick and tough vines even had many branches on them. Densely packed with leaves, these vines immediately wrapped around the iron vine grass. Sector Lord Level 6 Cloud Contact Vine against Sector Lord Level 9 Iron Vine Grass. The iron vine grass was cheap. The Cloud Contact Vine was extremely rare, and it was an extremely high level, being able to nurture 216 vines. Even as a Sector Lord Level 6, it could already kill a normal human Sector Lord Level 9. Hua, the Cloud Contact Vine and Iron Vine Grass covered 10 kilometers of space as they fought. Without a doubt, the Cloud Contact Vine had the upper hand. Oomph. In the distance, Pan Shi's eyes gleamed. Immediately, his left hand pointed at Luo Feng. Blood-red vines shot out. In an instant, the Iron Vine Grass and Cloud Contact Vine were surrounded by large amounts of red vines. Simultaneously, blood-red flowers appeared in space. These beautiful blood-red flowers, every one of them had a diameter of over 1 kilometer. Within the flowers, one could vaguely see black teeth. Sector Lord Level 9. Spiral Flower. If the iron vine grass was considered a common and cheap plant life form, then the spiral flower was an existence that wasn't any weaker than the cloud contact vine. The cloud contact vine was famous for its swallowing and cell activity, and this spiral flower was a special plant that loved to swallow flesh and blood life forms. It was known for its strong attack and swallowing abilities. The spiral flower, if used Earth classifications, could be considered a type of man-eating flower. Sector Lord Level 9 Spiral Flower? Luo Feng's expression changed. How can it nurture two Sector Lord Level 9 plant life forms? The piercing screams of the spiral flower resounded from the fresh flowers. The fresh flowers immediately enveloped Luo Feng and swallowed him. Within the huge, fresh flowers, the bloody mouths were clenching their teeth, saliva dripping out. Chapter 7:13. Nurturing a plant life form was a very extravagant thing. For example, to nurture a cloud contact vine to Sector Lord Level 9, no matter how frugal it would still require 10 to 20,000 mixed elements. And to nurture a peak quality cloud contact vine like Luo Feng's, the consumption would reach a terrifying level of 100,000 mixed elements. 100,000 mixed elements, what concept was that? The Undying Generals had an average wealth of 10,000 mixed elements. Human Sector Lord Warriors had an average of 10 mixed elements. Don't just look at how the Phoenix team was huge and had so many slave planets. One had to know that a galaxy normally didn't even have one mixed element. Even the entire Black Dragon Mountain starfield only had 300,000 to 1 million mixed elements. Luo Feng's consumption on the cloud contact vine alone was already worth a portion of the entire Black Dragon Mountain starfield. One could only imagine how shocking the consumption was. Without some foundation, one shouldn't play with a plant life form. And the more normal a plant life form was, like the iron vine grass. Due to its limited potential, it was already extremely rare to nurture it to Universe Level 9. For these types of plants with such low potential to break through to Domain Lord and Sector Lord, the price they had to pay was much higher than the cloud contact vine. The iron vine grass reached Sector Lord Level 9. The price was extravagant. The spiral flower reached Sector Lord Level 9. Obviously, it was also a peak quality spiral flower. To nurture these two, the cost definitely exceeded 100,000 mixed elements. Even normal Undyings couldn't produce such a huge amount of wealth. He's just the boss of the Phoenix team. It's already not bad if he adds up to a few tens of mixed elements. How could he nurture these two plant life forms? Luo Feng was shocked. And the Virtual Universe Company's information only said that back when she was a slave, he relied on the iron vine grass to take over that slave planet. However, at that time, it was only a Star Traveler Level 9. I didn't expect it to be a Sector Lord Level 9 now. Spiral Flower, capture him. She communicated mentally, controlling the Sector Lord Level 9 Spiral Flower. The iron vine grass was something he acquired by chance when he was young. It was his chance to change his fate. The spiral flower was a young plant he specially bought after his position rose, and he continued to nurture it. It was his strongest trump card, as he had always been low profile. Even when he used the iron vine grass and spiral flower, he always killed his enemies instantly. Hence, the news of him having a Sector Lord Level 9 iron vine grass and spiral flower had always been a secret. Even the Virtual Universe Company's information department didn't find out. No matter what, the Virtual Universe Company still wasn't at the level of omniscience. Just like back then when Luo Feng chased after the 120 million targets. In the end, some of them escaped to a desolate planet with no signs of human life, causing Luo Feng to never be able to find them. The moment spiral flowers' beautiful and bewitching flowers were as fast as lightning. It didn't even take 0.001 seconds to traverse a distance of 10 kilometers and envelop Luo Feng. Luo Feng swiftly fled, simultaneously staring at the bewitching flower flying towards him, simultaneously communicating mentally. Bada. Quick. Coming. Boom. The Yin Mo planet ship that had been hovering beside Dylan suddenly sped up. The blood-red triangular structure had sharp edges that could easily cut through a planet. Even if it encountered a group of asteroids, the Yin Mo planet ship speed would not be affected. F9 grade metal, Virtual Universe Company's engraving solidification. How sharp was it? Wah, almost like a god waving his sickle to cut through the grass. The Yin Mo planet ship rushed towards the moment's spiral flower. The beautiful flowers immediately opened and expanded. Their diameter was even more shocking, easily swallowing the UNMO planet ship in one gulp. Those dense teeth were still biting. However, following that, the flower exploded and the UNMO planet ship flew out from the flower, its speed not decreasing at all. With a terrifying speed of 290,000 kilometers per second, it flew out like lightning. The sickle was cutting through the grass. The UNMO planet ship flew past. No matter how tough the moment spiral flower was, it was sliced apart. It howled and screeched. The terrifying sound waves actually resonated in space. One could even see with the naked eye that the sound waves caused the space to distort. The moment spiral flower wanted to dodge, however, with its huge body and being tangled by the cloud contact vine, how could it dodge? The iron vine grass wanted to dodge too. However, it was tangled even deeper with the cloud contact vine. Hua! Hua! The UNMO planet ship flew in an arc, slicing through large amounts of vines and headed straight for Pan Shi. How can this be? Pan Shi stared wide-eyed, almost as though he couldn't believe such a terrifying ship existed. Who? The iron vine grass wrapped around him and pulled fiercely, allowing him to dodge the ship's slicing. Babata, continue. In midair, Luo Feng's eyes gleamed. Understood. Babata continued to control the UNMO planet ship to charge again. It felt like it had returned to the time when it followed Hu Yin Bo compared to then. The ship's control was much stronger now, and its slicing ability was already insane back then, slicing through meteorites like tofu. And after the virtual universe company's modifications, it was even stronger. Its defense, even an Emperor-level Undying, would have to spend a lot of effort to break through. Even normal Undyings wouldn't dare let the UNMO planet ship slice them. Of course, Undying's dodging abilities were shocking. Sector Lord Warrior's dodging abilities were actually very strong too, at least much better than a ship's instantaneous dodging. We're in trouble. His cloud contact vine is actually stronger than my iron vine grass, and its size is huge and tough. Even if it can't beat my spiral flower, it can still wrap around it. The moment it wraps around the spiral flower and iron vine grass, they'll be easy targets. Pan, she's expression changed. Hua! Hua! The UNMO planet ship moved like lightning. The ship's thin and sharp edges were like a huge blade, slicing through time after time. Large amounts of vines were sliced. Large amounts of flowers and vines were sliced apart, with the cloud contact vine restricting them. The spiral flower and iron vine grass were doomed. Ha! Hee hee! Babata's shrill laughter resounded within the UNMO planet ship's control room. After so many slashes, the two plants were heavily damaged, their strength greatly reduced. After all, the iron vine grass and spiral flower weren't known for their regenerative abilities. Bang! 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 The automaton ship was summoned by Luo Feng, too. The automaton ship and the UNMO planet ship madly fired their cannons time and time again, hitting the weakened spiral flower and iron vine grass. Under Babata's precise calculations, these attacks almost all landed on the spiral flower and iron vine grass. Very few of them hit the cloud contact vine. Even if they did, the vine's attack power wasn't as strong as the spiral flower, but its regenerative abilities were much stronger. A series of explosions, especially the main cannon of the automaton ship. It even fired a full-powered shot of an Undying, directly blasting the snail flowers, iron rattan grass, and even Pan Shi in his smithereens. Over. It's over. Luo Feng stood in space and smiled as he watched, simultaneously closing the virtual universe network. Mission complete. Wow, Babata and his AI simultaneously controlled the two ships and flew to Luo Feng's side. Luo Feng, this is too awesome. I haven't felt this good in a long time. This UNMO planet ship is simply too powerful. Its acceleration, instantaneous direction changes, etc., are much stronger than before by 80%, and after the engravings on the ship's body solidified, the cutting is even more powerful, cutting that Sector Lord level 9 spiral flower iron vine grass. It's simply too easy. Luo Feng smiled and communicated mentally. To modify the UNMO planet ship, I spent a few 100,000 mixed elements. And this is because I'm a primal region member of the Virtual Domain Company. How can the virtual universe company's modifications be a joke? His consciousness communicated with Babata. Simultaneously, Luo Feng flew ahead. After Pan, she died. His internal world automatically collapsed, and large amounts of items floated down. Scanning with his spirit energy, he didn't find any special items. However, Luo Feng still kept them all in his world ring. Because of the two-sector Lord Level 9 plant life forms, Luo Feng felt that Pan she had some secrets. Dylan, mission complete, let's go, Luo Feng said. Relying on two ships and the cloud contact vine, its power isn't weak. Dylan smiled. When your cloud contact vine reaches sector Lord Level 9, with its regeneration and toughness, normal sector Lord life forms will find it hard to break free from its bindings. First trap the sector Lord, then use the Yin Mo planet ship to cut it. Luo Feng laughed too. So, the Yun Mo planet ship floated in space, simultaneously opening its cabin door. Luo Feng, please enter the ship. Babata's passionate voice resounded within the Yun Mo planet ship's cabin door. Ha! Luo Feng and Dylan laughed as they flew into the ship. After entering the Yun Mo planet ship, Luo Feng bought the most luxurious world ring in the Wu Long starfield back then. The internal world of a sector lord was small because the core couldn't hold it. And to create a world ring, one could use precious materials to hold a world. It didn't need to be restricted by the core, hence one could build a huge world. Within the world ring, over 100 million km of vast land. It was mainly made up of land. The boundless land was filled with rocks and mud, one of which was the Masha clansman. Shua! That mud became a black energy flow, and, with a flash, it became the black-clothed Luo Feng. Back then, when Luo Feng was assassinated in the Wulong starfield, he thought about it, as he had to bring the core along, hence, he finally thought of this method. Buying a huge world ring. Then the Masha clansman would bring the core and become a mud, hiding within the endless world ring. Whether it was a space ring or a world ring, one had to use spirit energy, undying energy, and world energy to scan the items within. And the scanning range also depended on one's strength. For example, in a world, the weak could only use their spirit energy to scan a few hundred km, while the strong could scan hundreds of thousands of km. It all depended on one's strength. There were only two places where one could easily scan an unlimited area. One was the internal world. The second was the God country. Scanning one's internal world with a thought, one could scan the entire internal world. Scanning one's own God country with a thought, one could scan the entire God country. And the world ring was an independent world. Even if Luo Feng entered this world, he would have to use his spirit energy to scan. A world with a diameter of 100 million kilometers. The bigger the world, the more shocking the gravity. And the more shocking the gravity, the smaller the spirit energy scanning range. If I meet an enemy I can't defend against, and my earth body is killed, I'll pretend to be dead. Even if the enemy obtains this world ring, even if they search seriously, with such terrifying gravity, with the same strength, the scanning range would only be 1/10,000 of Earth's. Luo Feng thought. A diameter of 100 million kilometers, probably only the universe night-level beings can sweep through. And such a rough scan wouldn't be able to detect the Masha clansman's strength. Only by going in and scanning every stone, every grain of sand. A world with a length and width of 100 million kilometers, to search so carefully, it wouldn't be easy. As long as one doesn't know my secret beforehand, who would know I'm hiding here? Such a huge world, becoming a mud block. Who would have thought? Who would be able to find out? Let's check and see what's in Panshi's belongings. I have a feeling he has some secrets. Black-clothed Luo Feng looked at the distant plains. There were large amounts of items scattered about. They were all Panshi's belongings that Luo Feng had collected. Black-clothed Luo Feng stood on the plains. Around him were large amounts of random items. Some of them were valuable, but how high was Luo Feng's standards? These items, all added up, probably aren't even worth 20 mixed elements. Really? Luo Feng shook his head, after which his gaze swept past 3 items. 2 space rings, 1 world ring. Who knows what's in the ring? Black-clothed Luo Feng picked up the world ring and carefully studied it for a while, discovering nothing. Don't tell me it's in the space ring, or that Pan-Shi has no secrets at all. Luo Feng thought, continuing to check the other 2. The space within the space ring was much smaller. One was only 100 m in diameter, the other was even smaller, about 100 m in diameter. After searching, they were all miscellaneous items. Damn, I'll throw them all into my internal world to check. Black-clothed Luo Feng thought, immediately taking out the items from the 2 space rings and 1 world ring. He then kept them all into his internal world. Within his own internal world, he was the master. There really is a special item. I thought it was just a normal tag amongst the large amounts of miscellaneous items. If it wasn't in my internal world, it would be hard to notice. Black-clothed Luo Feng's eyes gleamed, immediately entering the internal world, letting his core spin and float within the world of the world ring. 3 RD chapter, for 1,000 words. Tomato is awesome, right? There were only 2 days left. The first place was right before his eyes. He couldn't relax. Chapter 714. Internal World. The black-clothed Luo Feng stood amidst the large amount of items. In his hand, he held a silver tag with a beautiful engraving. Back in the world ring, even though he had carefully checked Pan-Shi's items, he didn't find anything special. However, in his own internal world, he was the ruler and his senses were much stronger. He immediately noticed that the silver tag was special. This is actually a tag that stores a small world. I didn't even notice it before. What a high level of craftsmanship. Black-clothed Luo Feng exclaimed softly. Chi, a thread of world energy, forcefully permeated the silver tag. It still had Pan-Shi's spirit imprint within. However, without Pan-Shi support, just the spirit imprint alone was quickly broken through and imprinted with Luo Feng's. Luo Feng's world energy had already entered the silver tag's world. This was a very small world with a circumference of about 100 kilometers. Apart from the plains, there was also a lake at the center of the entire world. It was a lake with a diameter of more than 10 kilometers. The water in the lake was incomparably cold, and it gave off a chilling aura that filled the entire world. What is this? Black-clothed Luo Feng frowned. The power of the world carefully examined the world in the silver token. The land was very ordinary. Only the lake seemed a little special. However, Luo Feng couldn't recognize it. Babada! Babada! Black-clothed Luo Feng's consciousness connected to his space ring and called out to Babada. Other than his Earth body carrying Babada as the main body, the Yin Mo planet ship, black-clothed Luo Feng, the Golden Horn Beast, and the automaton ship all carried Babada's cloned AIs. The AIs could be said to be Babada's clones. Babada could control them. The AIs had all of Babada's memories. They only lacked life characteristics. They were considered the pinnacle of AIs. Of course, normally when Luo Feng was in the Yin Mo planet ship, Babada's main body would enter the ship and replace the AIs to control the ship. Master, the AIs were very respectful. Come and check if you've seen this lake before. Black-clothed Luo Feng's thoughts moved and entered the world. Cold. Even though he was an energy life form, he still trembled. This small world with an area of 100 kilometers was actually so cold, and the cold energy came from the center lake. The black-clothed Luo Feng suddenly felt much more comfortable. His life crystal seemed to have been nourished. Master, I've seen the water in the lake. The subsidiary AI shouted excitedly. Oh, the black-clothed Luo Feng asked, what's that? This is Lok God water. The subsidiary AI hurriedly said, back then, Old Master participated in an auction, and one of them was Godlock's water. 1 cubic kilometer of Godlock's water was stored in a bracelet in a miniature world. I remember that the auction price was 8. 9 million mixed elements. The black-clothed Luo Feng's eyes widened. Oh my god. 8. 9 million mixed element units? 1 cubic kilometer? Pansy. The black-clothed Luo Feng fiercely turned his head, staring hard at the lake beside, carefully feeling the size of the lake. The surface of the lake was an irregular circle. The largest diameter was 16. 2 kilometers, the smallest was 10. 3 kilometers. At the same time, the entire lake's depth was 3. 2 kilometers. With the black-clothed Luo Feng's sensing ability, he immediately determined the exact volume of the lake, which was also the exact volume of the loch god water. 712 cubic km. How much? How much was it worth according to the auction price? 6. 337 billion. 6. 3 billion mixed elements? The black-clothed Luo Feng was stunned, completely stunned. A pie falling from the sky? A beggar suddenly seeing a mountain of gold? A punk from Earth suddenly being informed by the Ganwu country leader. You are my long-lost son. I'll pass the Ganwu universe country to you. This was the feeling. Stunned. 6. 3 billion mixed elements. My god, I've really hit the jackpot this time. This time it's truly a jackpot. The black-clothed Luo Feng howled within. Luo Fu Plate? Yin-Mo planet ship? Flame Void Gold? Purple 100 net leaf? The black-clothed Luo Feng's body was slightly trembling. His entire fortune before was only around 10 million mixed elements, which was equivalent to a normal official level's fortune. Even though the armor he obtained was very expensive, it was after all not widely used, and no one else in the human world would be able to use it. However, the loch god water was different. This was a precious item that had been auctioned before in the human world. 1 cubic kilometer was auctioned off for the astronomical price of 9 million mixed elements. This lake of his was worth over 3 billion mixed elements. The loch god water was named after the ancient era, when the universe had just been born, humanity's absolute being, Loch. The AI explained, Lochback then discovered the loch god water in a universe secret region, discovering that it had shocking life energy. It can be used to nurture plant life forms. It can be used to heal the body. Anyway, anything that can absorb life energy can be used. It has many uses, hence its value is very high. Also, the life energy within the loch god water is extremely high. Its effects are much stronger than the life fruit. It has great effects even on undying level plant life forms, causing many powerful undyings to want to buy it. The black-clothed Luo Feng's eyes gleamed, nodding like a chicken pecking at rice. He struck it rich. He really struck it rich this time. A normal official level undying's fortune was only 10 million mixed elements. Even an official level pinnacle probably had 100 million mixed elements at most. 3 billion mixed elements. What kind of concept was that? This could be said to be the entire fortune of many emperor-level undyings. Of course, for an absolute being like True Yin, who is infinitely close to a universe knight. He was much wealthier than normal emperor-level undyings. To True Yin and Sky Feather Emperor, casually throwing out over 1 million mixed elements worth of treasures wouldn't even bat an eyelid. Master, the AI said respectfully. Before, Master's treasures were commonly used by official-level undyings, and this loch god water lake can already be considered an emperor-level undying's fortune. An emperor-level undying's fortune? Luo Feng laughed. This comparison was good. Different levels of strength, different levels. Powerful emperor-level undyings could sweep through a large group of official levels. Their ability to obtain wealth was shocking too. Naturally, they would have huge amounts of wealth. Even so, even if many emperor-level undyings sold their entire fortune, they would still barely be able to buy this loch god water lake. Ha ha ha! The black-clothed Luo Feng laughed loudly. Looks like I definitely can't underestimate these seemingly normal people. Pan Shi, a large slave trader, seems normal and unremarkable. Many official-level undyings don't even bother with such a being. However, who would know he has the loch god water lake? The black-clothed Luo Feng laughed loudly. He sure is cautious. Even the virtual universe company doesn't know he has this fortune. The vast universe was incredibly mysterious. There were countless life forms in the universe. Those with special fortunes would definitely exist. Luo Feng could have special fortunes. Others could too. Pan, she had such a special fortune. Actually, Pan, she himself, didn't know this was called Lock God Water, but when he was growing the iron vine grass, he was shocked to find it was too easy for it to evolve. It constantly grew by leaps and bounds, only stopping when it reached Sector Lord Level 9. And to grow one iron vine grass, the amount of Lock God Water used was just a drop in the ocean. After which he grew an even stronger moment spiral flower, similarly easily growing it to Sector Lord Level 9. Panshi immediately understood this Lock God Water was a treasure. Growing the moment spiral flower to Sector Lord Level 9 required tens of thousands of mixed elements, yet it only used a drop in the ocean. Then how much was the entire lake worth? Thinking about that huge number, Pan, she couldn't help but shiver. He was clear that as long as he exposed himself, those powerful undyings, and he even suspected that even the high and mighty Ganwu country leader would make a move against him. He was afraid. Hence he kept a low profile. He treated the Lock God Water as his true trump card, and he would occasionally drink a drop of Lock God Water during his training to speed up his training. Hence, even without a teacher's guidance, he could break through to Sector Lord level. This was the use of the Lock God Water. There are many miraculous fortunes in the universe, and the treasures are divided into different levels. The Yunmo planet ship, Luo Fuchi plate, purple 100-net leaf, etc. were all official level treasures. And now, these are emperor level treasures. Black, clothed Luo Feng's eyes were burning. It's worth 3 billion mixed elements. It's in the billions. Just thinking about it made the black, clothed Luo Feng's blood boil. Within the Yun-Mo planet ship, Luo Feng sat in the resting cabin. He couldn't help but reveal an excited expression. I've earned. I've been lucky before. It's also because of my training. Like the beast, god statue, etc. And those were things I worked hard to acquire. And this time, I've truly earned a fortune. And it's like a pie falling from the sky. My God, I, Luo Feng, actually have such a day. Ha! Luo Feng was extremely happy within. How happy was that? With this Lock God Water Lake, I'm filled with confidence. During this period of time, I've been spending money without earning anything. If this goes on, I'll eventually run out of money. Luo Feng smiled. It's great now with a Lock God Water Lake and cloud contact. Luo Feng's thoughts moved and immediately placed the cloud contact vine into his world ring, following which he placed it into his internal world. Finally, he placed the cloud contact vine into the Lock Divine Water Lake in a miniature world. One ring world after another. With the Lock God Water Lake, it'll be very easy for the cloud contact vine to reach Sector Lord Level 9. Luo Feng thought. However, to break through to Undying, it won't be that easy. Otherwise, with Pan she's training for so many years, his iron vine grass and spiral flower would have long reached Undying. However, with the Lock God Water's help, the cloud contact vine's chances of breaking through to Undying will greatly increase. Luo Feng was extremely happy. Luo Feng. Babata shouted. There's mail. Mail? Luo Feng was stunned. It seemed like the completion of the first round of the highest point mission had a result. Chapter 715. Luo Feng's consciousness connected to the Virtual Universe Network. Virtual Universe, Yuxiang Mountain Primal Region. Luo Feng's villa. Luo Feng's silhouette appeared. Teacher. Luo Feng was shocked as he looked at the silhouette in the distant living room. It was the golden-armored ape-man Tru Yin. Tru Yin smiled as he saw Luo Feng appear. You've finally arrived. Teacher, you're looking for me? Luo Feng was curious. Simultaneously on his shoulder, Babata's sharp voice resounded. Luo Feng, the mail was sent to you by your teacher. I sent the mail to urge you to hurry and enter the Virtual Universe Network. Tru Yin said. Luo Feng smiled. I was just saying I just killed that Pan Shi and completed the first round of the highest points mission. When I received the mail, I was still shocked. The completion rating shouldn't be out so quickly. It takes a while to study and discuss it. The first round has been completed. True Yin frowned. Luo Feng nodded. Tell me about it. True Yin ordered. Yes, teacher. Luo Feng explained the entire first round of the mission in detail, not hiding anything about his methods. You've killed enough. True Yin smiled. You have the demeanor of a teacher. Luo Feng was stunned. The Domain Lord level highest points mission. The original intent was to test one's temperament. True Yin was a member of the upper echelon of the Virtual Universe Company. Even though he wasn't the highest, he was clear about many things. He smiled casually. After all, not all absolute geniuses are suitable to be nurtured with great effort. For example, those with no faith and are extremely selfish. In the future, in the foreign battlefields or universe secret regions, they'll easily be tempted by the other races. Luo Feng nodded. The entire mission will be transmitted from the Virtual Universe Network. Everything you look at, every word you say, how to deal with the small fries, how to punish the big fries, etc. True Yin smiled. The final judgment on whether or not you're suitable to be nurtured. Many absolute geniuses are rejected at the first round. Teacher, do you think my first round's completion rate will exceed 80%? Luo Feng asked. Hard to say. True Yin said. Hard to say. Luo Feng was curious. Because I don't know which members are in charge of the assessment. True Yin shook his head. There are many upper echelons of the Virtual Universe Company, and everyone has a different personality. If it was your senior brother, Bloodthirsty Emperor, he might give you a high evaluation. However, there are also some higher-ups who don't like those bloodthirsty geniuses. Perhaps they will give you a low evaluation. After all, the number of people you killed this time is indeed very exaggerated. You killed over 1 million people, and your methods are also very ruthless. Clearly, you are bloodthirsty in your bones. Perhaps it will cause some of the higher-ups to dislike you. Luo Feng was silent. So what if he was disgusted? This was him. Teacher, Luo Feng stopped thinking about the mission and smiled as he asked, What's the matter? It's a very important matter. True Yan's expression suddenly became solemn. Luo Feng was stunned. Let me ask you, other than Nightmare, have you provoked anyone from the Battle Axe Coliseum with any background? True Yan carefully stared at Luo Feng's eyes. Luo Feng was shocked. I haven't. Luo Feng shook his head. I've only had some conflict with Nail and Zhu. As for the others, I really can't think of any of the big wigs of the Battle Axe Coliseum who have conflicts with them. That's strange. True Yin frowned. What's wrong? Luo Feng asked, feeling nervous within. True Yin said solemnly. There's an absolute being of the Battle Axe Coliseum, a being even more terrifying than Nightmare Emperor's father, Shi Huiyao. Undying Night. He got your contact information through me and specially sought to meet you alone. Undying Night? Luo Feng was stunned. What bigwigs? Undying? That title was impressive enough. Undying Night. He's one of the true upper echelons of the Battle Axe Coliseum. He's existed for much longer than Shi Huiyao. People call him Undying because his survivability is extremely strong. During his growth, he's met with many life and death situations, yet he survived until now. As for his strength and position, he's definitely comparable to our Virtual Universe Company's Tianshi Palace leader. True Yin emphasized. Luo Feng took in a deep cold breath. Undying Night? Wanted to meet him alone. He'd never even heard of such a great being before. Why would he want to meet him alone? And it's even the upper echelon of the Battle Axe Coliseum. If it was the upper echelon of the Virtual Universe Company, maybe it's because of his talent. However, other powers' upper echelons definitely wouldn't do so. Even if they wanted to take him in as a disciple, it would have to be the upper echelon of the Virtual Universe Company. Undying Night's teacher is the pinnacle of humanity's absolute being. True Yin emphasized, the creator of the Battle Axe Coliseum. Luo Feng opened his mouth, unable to say a word. The creator of the Battle Axe Coliseum? The creator of the Battle Axe Tablet? Luo Feng asked despite knowing the answer. True Yin nodded seriously. Humanity's treasures. 52 primal chaos tablets, of which the Battle Axe tablet was ranked first. Its corresponding heavenly bridge had a total of 32 levels, In the second universe, Heavenly Bridge had 30 levels. Luo Feng's 9-universe tablet had a total of 27 levels. One strength could be seen from the Primal Chaos tablet. To be able to leave behind a Primal Chaos tablet, not one wasn't an absolute being of humanity. The Battle Axe tablet was ranked first, and the Battle Axe Coliseum was on par with the Virtual Universe Company, the two highest powers of humanity. The creator of the Battle Axe Coliseum, this identity, one could easily guess how strong he was. Being called the pinnacle of humanity's absolute being by True Yin wasn't an exaggeration. Damn. Luo Feng's heart couldn't help but race. His mind was in a mess. Comparable to the leader of Tianshi Palace, one of the highest levels of the Battle Axe Coliseum, my teacher is even the pinnacle of humanity. Such a powerful being, why would he want to meet a small fry like me alone? Luo Feng was very clear on his position. There were many geniuses, absolute geniuses that appeared once every 10,000 eras, in over 100 million eras. There could be 10,000 of these absolute geniuses. And in the endless years of the universe's birth, who knew how many absolute geniuses were born, the miraculous encounters were many too. Those that could survive to become knights were extremely few. Even the undying knight probably wouldn't even care about True Yin, much less himself. Meet me. Luo Feng was even more suspicious. Since you haven't offended anyone, and have nothing to do with him, I can rest easy. True Yin laughed loudly. You can't change anything, just wait for him to meet you. Luo Feng nodded. His teacher quickly left. Luo Feng waited quietly in his study. Fear? Doubt? Just like a normal person on Earth, suddenly being told the President of America and the President of China would be coming to meet him, that was the feeling. Every second he waited felt like a year. Luo Feng didn't know if he had to wait a day, a month, or a year before the undying knight would meet him. 3 hours after his teacher left, the call went through. An unknown number. Babata said. Answer. Luo Feng stood up, simultaneously pointing in mid-air, condensing a large screen. The screen moved. Suddenly a terrifying pressure passed through the screen. The entire study was immediately enveloped. Luo Feng had no way to resist. He bent over from the pressure. He couldn't even lift his head. Suddenly a piercing, weird laughter resounded, almost like the sound of glass scratching a blackboard. The pressure finally weakened. Only then did Luo Feng raise his head, looking clearly at the human silhouette on the screen. That silhouette was dressed in an extremely weird armor. It couldn't even be called armor. It was more like a normal armor with tens of thousands of vines. The countless vines were like silk wrapping around him. His eyes glowed with a green light. Luo Feng only exchanged glances with him for a moment, falling into an endless nightmare. Many demons roared over. Luo Feng had no way to resist, immediately devouring him. Only then did Luo Feng wake up. Wah wah wah. A weird piercing laughter resounded from the countless vine silhouettes' purple lips, almost as though the surrounding space was shaking. To actually speak through the screen, to be able to easily shake the virtual universe space, to be able to instantly cause me to be unable to escape from the illusion. Luo Feng finally felt the true power of an absolute being. No matter how strong his willpower was, it was like a sharp knife. Against an endless swamp, he would still sink. Little punk, your willpower is not bad. A weird laughter resounded. You are? Luo Feng asked respectfully. Me? The weird voice resounded fiercely. I am the great Undying Knight. You can call me Undying Knight. Remember, it's Undying Knight. Don't call me Venerable. Luo Feng trembled within. Was the Undying Venerable crazy? Greetings, Undying Knight. Luo Feng bowed respectfully. On the screen, the Undying Knight's green eyes flashed as he examined Luo Feng. Suddenly, he waved his battle skirt crazily. Tens of thousands of vines danced around. He said proudly, Little punk, you're the leader of the Milky Way, the leader of Earth? Ah, yes. Luo Feng reacted. That's good. This weird-tempered, Undying Knight laughed weirdly. I want to buy the Milky Way galaxy. Sell it to me. You can name any condition, as long as I can agree to it. Milky Way galaxy? Luo Feng was stunned. A small galaxy. This Battle Axe Coliseum's highest level member, the Undying Knight, didn't even bother with it. After all, with his power, building a universe country wasn't a difficult task. With your power, if you want to acquire the Milky Way galaxy, you should be able to do it right. Luo Feng said. The ownership of the 1008 universe countries is decided by the 5 great powers. I can't just do it openly. On the screen, countless vines danced. The Undying Knight laughed weirdly. Hence, I will do a very normal transaction. You're a Milky Way leader. You could just sell the Milky Way galaxy to me. Hurry, do you want to sell it or not? My time is precious. I don't have time to waste with you. P.S. Chapter 2 here. Chapter 716. There was a mistake in the previous chapter. Fantasy Spirit Emperor should be in the Universe Mercenary Alliance faction. Tomato should be in the Battle Axe Coliseum faction. It has been changed. Please forgive me. Luo Feng felt the formless pressure. The person he was talking to was a true, absolute being of a universe, the Undying Knight, and he had a weird temper. The moment he pissed him off, there would be endless trouble. Compared to him, Luo Feng was like an ant. The Undying Knight could probably rely on his connections to make sure he was dead. Undying Knight. Luo Feng stood before the screen, bowing respectfully. As great as you, if you want the Milky Way galaxy, how would I dare not comply? I'm willing to give all the other planets in the Milky Way galaxy to you for free, as long as I keep my home planet Earth. The immortal venerable on the screen was slightly taken aback. He rolled his eyes, revealing a hint of helplessness in his green eyes. He touched the greenish-black vine beside his ear and said in a harsh voice, "You're very tactful. But to be honest, the main reason I want to buy your Milky Way galaxy is because of the planet called Earth. I don't care about the other planets in the Milky Way galaxy, but I want Earth." Luo Feng, who was standing respectfully, felt his heart skip a beat. "Want to buy Earth? Why?" Luo Feng asked. "This little Earth, a normal life planet. Why would you want to buy it? Undying Knight." "I naturally have my reasons." The Undying Knight's eyes were filled with impatience. The countless vines around began to twist, shouting, "Are you selling or not?" Luo Feng took a deep breath. He first bowed respectfully, before saying seriously, "Undying Knight, there are trillions of races in the universe, and we humans belong to one race. Just like how the Manka people's homeland is the Manka planet, my Earthling's homeland is this Earth. For our homeland, our compatriots can die one by one. Please forgive my rudeness, great Undying Venerable. I really cannot sell my homeland to you." Finishing, Luo Feng bowed respectfully again, quietly waiting for the Undying Knight's reply. Silence. On the screen, the Undying Knight's green eyes gleamed, staring hard at Luo Feng. A formless pressure began to grow stronger, directly passing through the screen and pressing down on Luo Feng's body, causing his entire body to crack uncontrollably. With a "pa," Luo Feng's leg bones broke. His entire body was forced to kneel down. Luo Feng remained silent as he waited for a reply. "Wah wah wah. Ga. Undying Venerable let out an ear-piercing laughter that contained a trace of anger. Among those who were familiar with him and understood him, how many of them would dare to disobey him? Within the Battle Axe Coliseum camp, although the strong had a weird temper, the Undying Venerable's temper was extremely weird. This person was temperamental and arrogant. What he loved the most was venturing into dangerous secret realms. The more dangerous it was, the more he loved it. Even the great universe knights had to prepare for a long time in some extremely dangerous universe secret realms. They had to invite a few helpers and carefully explore just once. But the Undying Venerable was different. The Undying Venerable viewed danger as child's play. He frequently ventured into dangerous places and terrifying secret realms. Even a strong warrior like the Universe Knight, if he were to do what he did and wander around the edge of danger, he would still fall. However, he just didn't die. His survivability was so strong that even the Bug Clan, Automaton Clan, and other strong races knew of it. He was very clear that there was an undying freak amongst the humans. Even in many dangerous situations, he had ways to survive. He didn't create a universe country. He didn't create his own faction and recruit people. He didn't fight for power. He was disdainful, arrogant, and proud. Even towards the universe knights, he would scold and berate them, arrogant and wild. He loved to risk his life and death once someone offended him. No matter how powerful they were, he would still dare to fight them. Hence, when he found out that the Undying Venerable, this famous being, wanted to meet Luo Feng, Tru Yin was so shocked that he immediately went to see Luo Feng, asking him if he had offended the Undying Venerable in any way. How daring to actually disobey me. The Undying Venerable's voice was ear-piercing. His eyes were like two cold blades piercing straight into Luo Feng's soul. In front of the screen, Luo Feng knelt there, saying respectfully, "Selling my home, selling the birthplace of my Earth's people. I really can't do it. Please forgive me, Undying Venerable." The Undying Venerable stared at Luo Feng. Luo Feng waited quietly. A stalemate, 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 10 seconds, a stalemate of half a minute. "Ha ha!" The Undying Venerable's laughter changed again, giving people goosebumps. "Good punk, you really have guts. Don't tell me you don't know that if you anger me, I can easily kill you. Killing a little genius like you is simply too easy for me." "I know," Luo Feng said respectfully. While dealing with the Undying Venerable, Luo Feng had already thought through the various situations. Firstly, unless he was forced into a dead end, Luo Feng definitely didn't want to sell Earth. The moment Earth became the Undying Venerable's territory, whatever the Undying Venerable did on Earth, Luo Feng wouldn't have any right to interfere. Earth was the home of all the humans on Earth. Leaving his home, leaving the people on Earth unable to return, Luo Feng didn't want to be such a sinner. Secondly, Luo Feng had thought it through. No matter what, he was still an absolute genius under the Virtual Universe Company. And even though the Undying Venerable had a high position and was strong, he was still part of the Battle Axe Coliseum. If the Undying Venerable wanted to kill him, that would be disrespecting the Virtual Universe Company. There would definitely be trouble. The Undying Venerable's chances of killing him were relatively low. Of course, with such a weird temper, Luo Feng couldn't be sure what the Undying Venerable would do. He might even kill him. The Undying Venerable could kill him easily. If I don't sell my home to him, he'll kill me. Then I'll first get Dylan to bring me through the God Country and teleport to Earth. Luo Feng thought. Earth was his home. To be able to rush back to Earth at a critical moment, Luo Feng got Dylan to place an item on Earth as a marker. After returning to Earth, I'll immediately keep Earth in my internal world. Luo Feng thought. There were indeed planets that were kept in a world. Luo Feng's internal world was big enough, it could indeed be kept. Like the Manka planet, it was kept in a God country. Anyway, a few hundred years ago, Earth hasn't been assimilated into the universe family yet. We can still live happily. In my internal world, Earth is actually much safer. At the same time, my Earth body will immediately head to the Virtual Universe Company's important primal region. The Masha clansman will carry the core and become a normal person, hiding on a distant life planet in a universe country. With the Masha clansman's aura-changing ability, in such a remote planet where the strongest is only a star level, no one will be able to discover me. When that time comes, if the Undying Venerable wants to kill me, he'll have to go to the primal region to do so. I'll see if he dares to kill me, if he really dares to rush to the primal region to kill me. If he succeeds, those big figures of the Virtual Universe Company might as well just die. That's the primal region. If even that is killed by the Undying Venerable, I can completely give up on the Virtual Universe Company. Luo Feng thought. Even if he kills my Earth body, it won't affect my true strength at all. This was Luo Feng's plan. No big deal. A life and death struggle. If such a situation were to happen, and the Virtual Universe Company didn't protect him, then he wouldn't have to work for them. At most, he could hide on some remote planet, or even head to other mysterious places in the universe to train. If he didn't have such methods, for the safety of the humans of Earth, Luo Feng might have yielded. However, since he had such methods, why would he yield? No matter what happened later, At least Luo Feng maintained his composure and waited respectfully for the undying venerable to speak. You know, and still dare to defy me? Gutsy, very gutsy. The undying venerable laughed weirdly. I like people with big guts, unlike those bunch of universe venerables who are so cowardly that they're even afraid of entering some of the more dangerous secret realms. Haha, not bad, not bad. I find you pleasing to the eye now. I'll spare your life. Just give me any island on Earth, and we'll call it a day. No problem, right? Luo Feng relaxed within, saying, No problem. I'll definitely prepare an island for you. The undying venerable nodded leisurely, his green eyes examining Luo Feng, letting out a heart-palpitating weird laugh. Little punk, in front of me from start to finish, I've never seen you cower. You're very persistent. Very stubborn. Interesting. Within that weird voice, the silhouette on the screen immediately vanished. Luo Feng's study. The pressure from before disappeared too. Who? Luo Feng let out a long sigh of relief, sitting down on the chair. My God, this undying venerable is really temperamental. His temper is weird. Luo Feng's forehead was filled with sweat. I was almost forced to wander the universe. If the undying venerable really wanted Earth, Luo Feng could only bring Earth with him and wander the universe. On the same day that the undying venerable and Luo Feng were communicating through the virtual universe in the distant Milky Way on Earth. Amazon primal forest. The forest was very hot and humid. Within the thick trees, one could occasionally see some monsters. Right now on Earth, there were very few places where monsters could be seen. They had already become protected animals, objects to be visited. In the huge Amazon, the humans of Earth obviously didn't want to destroy its ecology, hence there were no signs of humans here. A misty red light enveloped the surroundings, causing the surrounding space to ripple slightly. Following that, more than 10 powerful existences dressed in luxurious robes or battle armor appeared together. They all looked different, but their auras were all the same, causing people's hearts to tremble. One of them was the bewitchingly beautiful Flame Emperor. The last time I got someone to place an undying crystal on Earth, I didn't expect it to be used so quickly, instantly teleporting from the God country here. I'm afraid out of all the knights, my father's subordinates should be the earliest to reach Earth. Flame Emperor smiled proudly. This time I've done my father a great service. Beside, the other Emperor-level Undyings all smiled and nodded.